Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension featuring Dan and Bob Video Games. You know, I'm really glad important stuff got a next-gen version, like Biomutant.
Yes, of course.
KZ Excellent.
Kato Bingu.
And Mr. Feel.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Here on GigaBoots.
Bark, bark. Sorry, that wasn't Kermit enough. That wasn't Kermit-like enough.
You tried at least.
Bob,
What's up?
why Biomutant?
I don't know. No one's
Honestly,
stopping
yeah.
them.
I didn't know this was happening, so I thought you made that up.
I put that in the news, but I couldn't wait till then because I'm that frustrated. let me go through the list I put down here under this news. Let's see. Biomutant getting next-gen PS5 Series X versions. It is, of course, beating to the market a Tekken 7, a Dragon Ball Fighters, and a Grand Blue Fantasy Versus next-gen version, which will never happen.
You'll see.
They'll just make sequels that are almost exactly the same and charge you $70.
I know. And I'll buy it, but I won't be happy.
I'm like, yum, rollback.
Evo's right around the corner. I'm sure they're going to announce all of those right then.
I would love to be owned.
Yes, I would love that to be the case.
100%. That would be delightful. I'd be like, oh fuck, what I said no longer applies to reality. What a great
Hooray,
situation.
thank God. We're in a futuristic space city.
Mm-hmm. This is the future if next gen versions.
Yeah.
But here we are again, live with Big Think, here to talk about the important news. Like, Bob and I ate halloumi.
Oh, that was neat. Yeah.
It was really good. For people who don't know, halloumi's like a cheese that doesn't melt, but it's kind of like mozzarella-like in its sort of moisture content, weirdly enough. But it just keeps grilling.
Yeah. So just grill it up, get some burnt sides to it, like a burger almost.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds really good.
Right. The first time I heard about it was Jessica Fleur was streaming being hungry and looking at the Burger King menu, and she's British, and they had a halloumi burger on it. I'm like, what the fuck is halloumi? Is that a fish? Because they showed the patty, and I'm like, what is that? Yeah, it is. Hell yeah, I'd eat a burger that had that instead of a meat patty. Why wouldn't you want to eat a giant slab of cheese that was both firm and melty?
Yeah, I was actually thinking how it'd be good on a sandwich with other stuff, like a small amount of meat, like ham or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to do that at some point. I need to innovate.
Yeah, I know one of those Finland, maybe it is. I forget who, but they have a cheese very similar to that, where it's in there. It's like, no, you just get a big slab of it on a sandwich. That's your sandwich.
That's
it has,
so
and
brilliant.
it has mayonnaise, I think.
That's truly brilliant. I'm just thinking of, you take the bread, you cover in the mayonnaise, you grill that because you're a galaxy brain. You don't use butter on bread anymore.
No, of course
you
not.
use mayonnaise to get a more savory flavor. And then in the middle, you have that halloumi. You got lettuce and tomato, maybe a little bit of ham or turkey. Why am I doing this?
I don't know.
Let me be clear, chat.
Please stop.
I've only eaten a slice of pizza and a pickle all day. That's it. That's what I'm running on. That and delicious coffee.
The coffee's good.
But yeah, that halloumi was delicious. It was like my saving grace of yesterday. Yesterday being a day fraught with living on the cutting edge is always a risk. So I bought a new upscaler.
Foolish.
Yeah, what are you doing? Come on.
There's reasons that made it make sense.
Ghost dog barking.
Yeah, I heard the bark and I was like, what? Now? Okay.
That's a reason.
It hit the market. Basically what this thing is it's been called an Ossc Pro Lite. It's not a productized upscaler unto its own. You take an FPGA like the one they have in the Mister console and hook it in as an add-on board. Just directly hook it into the DE10 Nano, and then it becomes its own upscaler. Looking at the quality of it, the quality is really good. But the firmware on it, it is really cutting edge times. So I need to, like, for it to be a valuable assessment of this device, we need to check back in 6 months or something.
Right.
It was to the point, you know what? I could probably get the image on screen at least so people can understand the tier. But yeah, it's at the point where currently audio is not working. Is my board damaged? Is the software messed up? Who knows?
Yeah, mysteries.
The other problem, one time I set it into the scalar mode instead of the line multiplier mode, and instead of giving me this cool, nice looking image of Ape Escape 3, it gave me this really, really cool image of I don't know, a circle of hell. Let me throw that up so people can
I don't know, Dan. It's just in the 90s. You're looking at TV in the 90s.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, so the way I fixed that was by turning it off completely and turning it back on. So it's at a point where it's not ready for showtime. I knew I was definitely on the cutting edge here when it's like me and maybe 100 other people own it. I knew something like this is literally their prototype basically for an Ossc Pro where they get to test the features and implement a bunch of stuff early on this device and then make a proper product for normal people down the road.
Right.
Instead of this weird FPGA add-on board. But yeah, the quality out of it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice seeing 480i treated well because it already in some ways in 480i looks better than the RetroTink 5X does. So that has me excited for the future of upscalers from like the real Ossc Pro when the software is ready to go and it's in a product that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also the Pixel FX Morph, which is the one done by the people who did the N64 digital add-on board and the Dreamcast HDMI add-on board and all those. I think that's really promising. But every one of these has a monkey's paw, and if I remember correctly, the one with the Pixel FX Morph is you need this board to convert all of these normal inputs into BNC inputs. And
why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's already crazy enough that this thing only has a SCART.
Yeah, that's why this really isn't for normal people. It has no component. It has no S-video. It can't do composite. It only has a SCART input.
What?
You know, since this is a video format, I can show this on screen so that way people can look at it and go, yeah, that's not normal. Why would I want that?
Yes.
One moment. That's not... I don't want this liability. So,
You know, I still don't entirely understand what SCART is.
So it's a 21-pin connector. It's like the analog equivalent.
Uh-oh.
Let me punch it. Doop. It's like the analog equivalent of HDMI. And it's a great connector and very high quality, but GameCube never had a SCART out in the States.
What? Yeah, I was going to say, it's something only used in Europe, right?
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Japan.
Yeah, okay, that explains why I've never seen something that used SCART.
Yeah, because it was in Japan, they have the standard JP21, which is the same physical connector, but a different pinout. Because wouldn't it be funny if you just hooked it up and fried something? Anyways.
Well, how would you get it? It doesn't go to that country. Obviously, you never would.
You would never go to Europe.
Never.
But yeah, this is the only input on it, but it has a really great feature that I think is the future of all these things. And I think in the future, every upscaler should support this. It has an optical in, so you can get a pure digital audio from like an Xbox, a PlayStation 2, whatever, and just put that in. It'll be a nicer, cleaner sound that, you know, won't have any weird problems or have to deal with analog noise. But yeah, as I said, audio isn't, as of right now, and, you know, they may get back to me on this. The audio is currently not working on this at all.
Yeah,
and I have no idea why not. Maybe the board is damaged. Maybe something's up. Image quality out of it was kind of nice, but unstable firmware. And it supports some really cool features that, for whatever reason, do not work at all for me. For example, audio. But more importantly and more esoterically or weirdly, it has 120 hertz modes.
Ooh.
So you could hook like a SNES up to this, or a PS1 or a PS2 or whatever you have SCART for, because that's a thing you natively have. You could hook it up to this and it would output to your TV at 120 hertz. Now, just doing that alone will give you better input latency, as far as I understand it, just because of this would sync up to the exact moment the analog readout was done, so then it would blitz through it and write it up there at 120 hertz, right?
Okay.
But it has another layer of feature where it does that, and it does black frame insertion. So you can just inject into the signal on any old system black frame insertion. So even if your TV doesn't have black frame insertion, you can inject it at a signal level, which is cool for monitors and other things that just don't have that. Here's the problem. None of these modes work on my LG C1 OLED, which has 120 hertz support going all the way up to 4K. So I have no idea. It just says invalid signal.
Right.
Maybe updates will fix that. I hope they will. I would like to think there was a point in me buying this.
Now, something I wasn't quite clear on until it showed up. This did not require us disassembling our old OSSC. It didn't use parts from that, did it?
No.
Okay. So
No, it really just is an add-on board for the D10 Nano.
Okay, so yeah, it just hooks up to a D10 Nano. It's not something where you need to already have this one product, and then you buy this add-on board and another D10 Nano.
No, luckily you don't need to rip apart an OSSC like some monster and repurpose into this thing with no working audio for now. The idea, the reason they did this is because getting silicon is so hard right now, productizing it would have taken way longer.
So they clearly need people to be testing this. We've already seen why.
Yeah. I mean, even ignoring the audio thing, which could very well be I fried something or they fried something or just something went wrong. Maybe one of the wires is loose. I don't know. It's unstable. As I showed in that image, like you set it to scalar mode and it just doesn't work. And there's handshake problems, like the signal thing I was mentioning. They clearly need people to be testing this. I think it's a neat idea. It doesn't necessarily make it cheaper like you would hope.
Right.
Like the add-on board's $100, which is cheap if you have a D10 Nano, but a D10 Nano is $210.
Yeah, like you just have an extra D10 Nano sitting around.
Right. So at the end of the day, this combination costs about as much, I believe, as a RetroTink 5X Pro.
Oof.
Because those are about 310, 330. I don't know. I bought the RetroTink on Wave 1, and they raised the price after that because of the silicon problem. So I don't remember what the actual price is, but this was neat. I look forward to hopefully getting that resolved and fixed, because you wouldn't think there's just a better way to process 480i, but I've already looked at it and seen there is.
Yeah, no, you showing me the colors, like, wow, it does look just a lot sharper.
Yeah, just instantly you could tell, like, oh, that's a nice clean edge to the white coat, and there's not green artifacts weirdly everywhere and all these other things. Like
some other product might have.
Might have. I'm not going to take to Twitter to even imply anything that might exist in that product, because I know how that'll go. Other products. Anyway,
you know that.
I'm excited for the future of upscalers. I'm looking forward to a day when somebody makes a high quality, multiple inputs that are normal, so not BNC exclusively, hopefully, come on now, and, very flexible upscalers, because that's cool.
Oh,
that's cool.
Very pipe dream-esque.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, I know. You got to teach this retro community to make things that normal people will buy.
I'm not going to talk to this retro community.
What? It's gone so well every time you've tried.
Nah, I'm good. I'm at the point where I'm not even gonna imply this retro community. Anyway. So that was exciting and neat, but 5 hours of my life gone and not stable. So there's that.
Yeah.
The halloumi was a nice counterbalance to that. I was like, yo, I feel better as a person. I feel more worldly and full of tasty food. Appreciated halloumi. By the way, if you're in America and you're like, where can I get halloumi? Apparently, Aldi, the grocery store, just carries it. We just had one open here.
Yeah, they have lots of interesting stuff there. So I tried different.
I hear they have frosted flakes. They do have frosted flakes.
I was dying. I was.
I've heard they were great.
I could not handle it. I'm looking at those boxes of cereal while under the influence of many different magical spells, and I went, "There's no way this thing is saying Frosted Flakes right now."
Honestly,
the iconic mascot of Frosted Flakes, a polar bear.
Yeah. I kind of want to buy that box of Frosted Flakes and just keep it so people can see it, because hearing they have something they're calling Frosted Flakes is a little different from having to confront it visually.
Yeah, I really need my Fruit Loops. Then it's just a pigeon.
Yeah,
like a real pigeon.
Yeah, what did they call what was it? Fruit Rings or something?
I think it was something like that.
Me up. Every single one. All the other ones, they changed it enough where it was like, okay, But for fucking Frosted Flakes, they're Frosted Flakes. Come at me.
You can't sue us over that. These flakes are frosted. What do you want?
This is a fucking objective description of our cereal. But yeah, all these seem neat.
Yeah,
They have halloumi, and that's good enough for them to exist, in my opinion.
yeah. It had some good chocolates too. I got a couple different ones. Like there's these things that I don't even remember the name, but they're like Kit Kat shaped, but they're filled with hazelnut chocolate.
Cool.
Well, that was good.
Yeah. Tosh got me that like lemon.
Oh yeah, that one was
chocolate thing.
good too.
That was delicious.
That's the same brand.
Yeah. So they have some good chocolates and other things.
I really hate. I'm looking back at this post. I really hate the Lucky Charms one that's just marshmallows and stars with a horrible looking wizard on it.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like truly terrible.
That wizard is heinous.
What is it? He's making them magically delicious. Just don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't say that too loud though.
He only makes it at parties.
I was gonna ask Bob, when we went to City, did we stop at Aldi at all?
We did not stop at one.
Because we had one here the day before we went up.
Right, and it was like, well, we'll be able to check that out down there. We did stop at Trader Joe's, which was very cool.
We did stop at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, how insanely bad this area is like, yeah, Trader Joe's is great.
We're like, check this out. This gas station has a soda fountain, and people are like, is that not a thing where you come from? And I'm like, I'm fucking with you. We just don't have Trader Joe's. We just got the Aldi, and countless other places we ate at. For example, Schlotzsky's.
Yeah, the Schlotzsky's used to be here in the long ago.
Yeah,
before time.
I thought Schlotzsky's as a corporation crashed something like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I figured it Quiznodes it's out.
Same. That's what I assumed, but apparently not. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard for them to keep surviving under the inherent evil of Subway.
Yeah, because they have the same business dynamic, question mark?
Fruit rounds?
Yeah, it's fruit rounds. This poor bird looks
rounds.
like it's being forced to keep this in its mouth. I'm going to pull that up on screen, too, because, oh, my God. This poor bird. Fruit rounds. There we go. This is our new mascot here on the GigaBoots Podcast Network. It's a bird that looks like we're holding it at gunpoint. Just put a mic in front of its face.
Did I have to draw this for Pokemon Mondays at some point?
Welcome to our serial bird facts.
Bird fact. I have this this bird under duress record podcasts. Yeah, that is concerning. Do you think the artist realized they drew a bird in deep emotional pain?
Yeah.
I think they had to make the mouth open and they couldn't figure out how to make that not horrified.
I hate all of these mascots. They're all bad, but that wizard's still my most hated.
Polar bear looks dumb. Bird
Yeah,
concerns
this is a little
me.
rough.
Oh, yeah, that wizard might be the worst.
Yeah, like, look at that guy. He's so
I don't even
horrible.
know how to describe him for the listeners. He's... Okay.
He's a Keebler elf, but something's wrong.
Yes, that's all I could come up with. That feels like I crashed the car halfway to describe him.
Forcibly, you like grabbed one of the Keebler elves and you grabbed the Lucky Charms leprechaun and just threw them both in a food processor.
Do you remember when that one time we watched every trailer for every Alpha and Omega movie?
Yes,
This
he looks
guy
like
is
that.
he is in the exact same tier of CG animated nightmare
Yeah.
that just appears on YouTube for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Marshmallow stars, do. Very catchy song, Aldi. Very original. But yeah, aside from those cereals we didn't even buy.
No, I didn't buy a single one of those.
Yeah, we played some video games.
We did.
I think that's all the food adventures. Oh wait, Feel had a food adventure. Let's cover Feel's food adventure.
Yes, I did. I decided, I need more low-calorie things I can eat. I heard about these magic noodles called Shirataki Noodles that are made from water and starch from the konjac root.
Oh.
Huh.
They are 97% water.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have basically no calories.
Oh.
They come in packages of water.
This
You
is
have to drain them and rinse them before you use them because otherwise they have a weird odor.
Oh
See,
no.
I was telling Bob, I was like, I think the noodles he's talking about, we used to have at Publix in like the produce section next to a bunch of like vegetarian cheese or vegan cheese and other things like that.
That is where they used to be. Nowadays, they put them with all the gluten-free stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah, I never tried these. How did your adventure go?
Well, I decided, I'm gonna have a stir fry. I'm gonna make like chow mein.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I figured they'd disintegrate if you try to do that.
So I
he puts it in the pan and it Thanos snaps away. Yes.
Actually, they recommend you dry fry them.
Oh.
Like no oil. You just throw them in the pan and do that for a couple minutes, and that gets them closer to a texture of normal pasta.
Huh.
So I did that, and then I did chicken breast, Napa cabbage, carrot, and onion.
Sounded good.
And made like a stir fry sauce with like soy sauce and oyster sauce and cornstarch and garlic and gochujang.
Oh yeah, that's important.
They have a texture and consistency pretty identical to like dry ramen that you've cooked.
Oh,
okay.
I would not expect them to achieve that.
They are very acceptable as a substitute for noodles.
And the whole bit with this is like it has barely any calories.
The whole package, which made too much for me to eat in one meal. I have some left over still. Is 20 calories.
Now, to be fair, you know, in the sake of making sure we disclose everything possible, Phil and I have a very different opinion on what is a bunch of food. Apparently, I found this out through Oatmeal Brick.
that was a really good arc.
Where he was like, okay, this recipe for oat bars, you cut it into 8, Stan. 6 is too much. And I cut it into 6 because that's what the recipe originally asked for. And this is a high protein oatmeal bar thing. I eat one and I'm like, I think I'm going to eat a second. And when I told Phil this, he was like, oh, what?
Yeah, I can't even imagine eating like a third of that pan of like dense oatmeal.
Yes.
I really like seeing the clashing thing of, well, I don't see what the problem is having a second bar and feel with the McDonald's fry basket.
That's true.
Everyone has a weird upper limit.
I only did that once and I regretted it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That seems like something I would have done too. Oh, we actually had one more food adventure. The fry basket reminded me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
But Phil, did you have anything else you wanted to say on the noodles?
No, they're good. If you want to buy them, I would buy them at Walmart because they're actually affordable and not $4 for one pack. But I guess that did make 2 meals. But I would much rather get that same pack for $2.25.
Right,
wow.
And that's the thing. That's why I never tried them at Publix.
Yeah, Publix has $4 for everything.
Jesus Christ.
They have absolutely no flavor on their own, so you absolutely have to have some sort of sauce.
I wonder if they
broth, I guess.
Work well as like a soba noodle substitute because that's already about just dipping them in some heavy sauce or some sauce with a lot of flavor to it.
I wonder if the texture would work for that though.
Yeah,
I
don't
imagine
know.
it really depends on.
They're a little
the
rubbery, but they don't have like the weird texture that a lot of diet things have, where you go, this isn't real. this is some weird fake substitute. It doesn't have that. Like it's like, no, this is a noodle. It doesn't have any kind of strange flavor. It doesn't have a weird aftertaste. You don't have to do arcane science to make them palatable.
Is it even a health food at that point?
Yeah, if you're not eating peanut butter, it tastes like salsa. What are you doing?
Let me explain. Your health food, your low calorie meal should be like this. It should be unstable, involve too much work from you. It should be like this upscaler.
Yes, for the audience, this
isn't gonna be like when I was looking up keto recipes like 2 years ago, and it's like, here's how to make tater tots out of cauliflower, and I'm like,
no, never.
No, I'm not going to pulse up cauliflower, form it into little tater tots, pan fry it in bacon grease so it tastes like something, and then pretend they're tater tots. That isn't happening.
Yeah, I've given so many different cauliflower things a chance. And Tosh likes them. I don't know how. But every time I try one, I'm like, this is disgusting. Bob and I tried something from Whataburger. We tried the bacon blue cheeseburger, which sounds like it should be really simple to describe. Bob, I can't help but look at this image on Whataburger's website and see that the grilled onions are supposed to go above the patty.
Okay.
Do you know where my grilled onions were?
No.
They were buried in the cheese on the bottom slice of bread.
Huh. Okay.
I was like, this is just hidden. You snuck this in on me. This burger has, and sorry for anyone who's hungry right now. What is it? Peppercorn ranch sauce, a blue cheese layer between two patties, bacon, grilled onions, lettuce, tomato, and then a slice of American cheese on the bottom. Bob and I came to one consensus on this burger. Our methods of how to solve it were completely different, but we both went, this is too many different fucking things.
Yeah, absolutely. They put everything on the freaking, like,
The tray. Yeah, the prep station just went in to the burger. The blue cheese, delicious. American cheese on bread, terrible. Never, ever, ever do that. Burying hidden grilled onions down there, also terrible.
Yeah, why did they have American cheese? I
mean, I would have been okay with it if it wasn't on the bottom slice of bread, because that's just gross. That's terrible.
There's already too many things.
Yeah, there are too many things. You could cut out half of the ingredients, and no matter which way you split it, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really tasty. That fucking blue cheese layer was exquisite. It was so fucking creamy and good.
Yeah, I like the peppercorn sauce more than anything else on it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, like I think that was actually really neat.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about with we're both split on how you would do it, because one of my first things was like, get rid of the grilled onions, get rid of the peppercorn sauce. Like, it's already, like, I think it was good but as it was. But yeah, that was an expensive ass burger.
Yeah, that was...
What all did we order? I ordered a large Diet Dr. Pepper.
You made
we
the
both
huge
ordered this
mistake.
burger. Did I order anything
You
else?
also ordered that milkshake.
Well, they had a banana pudding milkshake. What am I going to do? Look at that and be like, I'm over that. I don't need that. Keep in mind, this is extra funny for Bob. Bob has insider knowledge that made that moment funnier. When I fell for some place up at City being like, you need to try our world famous banana pudding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sure, how much is it? And they're like, a cup is $5.49. And I was like, okay, you don't mean a literal, and they meant a literal cup was $5.
Yeah, it's like, you got this much. It was
like,
real
it was
bad.
a literal cooking measurement cup. And I'm like, man, they just played my ass.
Did it
Yeah.
have vanilla wafers in it?
Yes, that did.
Okay.
The milkshake, I'm not sure. The milkshake was
Maybe
good.
it had them crumbled.
Yeah, it didn't have enough of that vanilla wafer flavor in it. It was all right. It was pretty banana-y, but not enough. Like, I think that milkshake needed a stronger banana pudding flavor.
Now I'm just having flashbacks to the Sonic various milkshakes they've had that have crumbled graham crackers and stuff in them. I'm like, oh my god, that was the best thing ever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't even know if they
Starbucks
still
has a
do
thing
it.
like that now. I had that in the airport on Saturday.
Oh damn.
They have like a mocha cookie crumble frappuccino, and I'm like, well, I want caffeine, gimme, and they're like $9, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Tears in your eyes.
yeah. That's how it goes. What did it cost? He's just
then
tearing up,
I went
sipping on it.
and spent $50 in the TGI Fridays inside the airport.
Is this the same? Is this the same airport? I believe you were talking about paper straws.
Only Chick-fil-A had paper straws.
Weird.
Huh?
Nowhere else gave me a paper straw.
That's even weirder because Chick-fil-A is individually owned and operated. Like, I looked into the business structure of Chick-fil-A at some point, and they're like, we literally only let millionaires start our franchisees. I'm like, oh shit, Jesus, guys. They're like, if you're poor, you might fuck up, and I'm like, well, I mean that kind of implies something that's patently untrue. But yeah, that's weird that specific one would be like paper straws. God. Oh wait, we're supposed to talk about video games.
Video games. Oh my god.
Video games.
Sure.
Bob and I bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite.
That's how we're starting. Not even.
Why?
Those games suck.
I like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I've never played Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite because I do not have clown makeup on at the moment.
I like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I make Bob hate Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh, fair.
Infinite, however. Oh boy. We had passed this fucking it's like every day when you pass a weird structure on the place you're going to, like the dilapidated Fallout building. And you're just like, that thing's been there for a century. What do you think's inside? I don't ever want to go there. It's too scary. That's been every time Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite has gone on sale on the PS4. Every single time me and Bob go, don't stop there.
Yeah, all I can think about is you finding one of the story cutscenes in that demo really funny, where you just go, Captain America.
Yeah, everyone in the demo just introduces themselves by name and says the other person's name. So we just kept running the bit of Captain America, Spider-Man, Captain America, Doctor Strange. See, this is always a struggle because every time I want to simulate this cutscene, I go to say X-Men names. There are no X-Men in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Yeah, their functions were not needed.
We need to go back to eventually because we didn't have the install fully done. So we only play on the training course, which is the worst looking level in maybe any fighting game.
Yeah, it's not even a good looking danger room.
No.
Yeah, it's really terrible. And yeah, the MCU forcing all of the modern movies down that game's throat feels so bad because you can see it too. It's just like, what are the DLC characters even? It's like you get Black Panther, Doctor Strange, or he may have been in the
he was
class,
in the initial roster.
but it's like I feel like 2 of the 3
because
or
DLC
4
had Venom, which
it
should
did
have
have
been
Venom.
So he
That's
should have
the
just been
only
in the
pop
regular
that
game.
had.
Yeah.
I can't
That was the
remember who
hype
the
one,
third because there's
They
a third
had Captain Marvel, didn't they?
Captain Marvel's in the base game because she's that important.
I think it was Winter
Yeah,
Soldier. I don't think that was in base.
That's true.
Yeah,
Winter
that's
Soldier.
it.
The three DSL characters were Winter Soldier, Venom, and Monster Hunter.
No, there are more because Sigma.
They made more?
They only have 2 Capcom reps in the DLC, and it's Monster Hunter and Sigma.
Yeah.
And then there are 4 MCUs to balance it
that
out.
way
Black
the menu
Widow.
always looks wrong forever.
Yeah,
So
I
we
knew
got-
Marvel had more, but I thought there was only 1 more, not 2 more.
So it's Black Panther, Venom, Bucky, Winter Soldier, and some 4th thing we can't even remember.
Yeah. Did you list Black Widow in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bucky, Black Widow. That thing I just said. Venom.
Black Panther. They're 2.
Okay, there we go. We got 2 black representatives in the DLC. Scarlett Johansson can play a black woman, right?
Yeah, she can act whatever she wants, Dan.
That's great.
This DLC lineup was starting to feel really ghoulish,
Mhm.
and I was trying to think of what could be worse. And then I thought about every update the Avengers game gets.
Yeah, we could dip into that
Hawkeye.
real quick because
Hawkeye 2.
it's not a real story, but I caught that cringe Microsoft stream where they had a person, I believe it was Technic TV, it's a host or an actor, and he's doing a live thing with the lead designer on Marvel's Avengers, and he's like, "Yeah, my acting coach is, she's gonna voice She-Hulk in the game." And he's like, we didn't announce that. We don't make announcements here. And you can it's so awkward because it's not even that fast and gone.
No.
It's 2 minutes straight of this shit.
Yeah.
It's him building up to I'm gonna say it, and for some reason
Reverse roles, lead designer, I'm gonna say it. He's like, no.
and then the lead designer just sits there like uncomfortable but doesn't say absolutely don't say whatever you will. like any reasonable person in that situation should.
Well, here's the thing: if you say don't say something, and he instantly said the first thing of She-Hulk. He hit that real fast. He's like, interesting fact about She-Hulk. It's like first few words out of his house during that. Oof.
That guy, he had to have seen the shit where this character leaked 6 months ago. Like the voice actress already leaked for it.
Mm-hmm.
I can only assume either they canceled it or they want to sync it up when that show, the She-Hulk TV show where the CG looks really bad, it actually comes out.
I did not think I could feel any worse for the people who made Marvel Avengers. But the look on the lead designer's face of, I just want to talk about the good work people put into this game. We're not here to make announcements. It's like,
I had to leave
so
my room and just kind of walk for a minute while recovering from how bad that clip is.
Yeah, it makes my blood hurt.
Yeah, it caused me physical pain.
Yeah. It's
bad.
Terrible. I thought I couldn't feel even worse about Marvel Adventures as a whole game and moment and thing. But yeah, so anyway.
How has that game not just been fully pulled the plug on yet? I don't get it. It's just a massive failure that's falling down a cliff.
I don't know.
Disney.
Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, so on Tuesday when we do the weekly beating like we do every week, we played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but we also played Capcom Fighting Game Collection. But the actual thing we want to talk about is DNF Duel.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I also played some.
Grappler's pretty cool.
He sure can grapple things.
I'll bet.
Like bullets.
Yes! Oh, you shot me? That's cringe. And then he grabs you from across the whole stage.
Yes.
That is brilliant. I love that. No, his grabs are unblockable hits. So they can get your hurt box. So your spear isn't going to help you here.
Yeah, no, it's fucking fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. What a funny guy.
I saw that fucking Twitter video and I was sitting on the edge until I saw it. And I was like, oh, this is too funny. This is just Twitter video breaking down. Yeah, so then that guy does a swing that hits the whole screen, but that's okay. He's balanced by the fact Grappler can just grab him from that screen-wide hit.
Yeah, it's kind of insane to have a fighting game where multiple characters have a counter that just activates almost instantly.
Yeah.
It's like if there were two Hakumen in one game.
And I'm a big fan of Hakumen, especially like early Hakumen where his damage numbers were nuts. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I also enjoy the Crusader with his giant mallet and power of God.
The ability to make walls appear.
Oh, yeah, that shit's great. You hold forward and push X, and it just erects an energy wall in their ass. If they're not blocking it, knocks them into the air. The juggle potential's real good. So good. That game, I am definitely getting my money's worth just from how fucked up the characters are.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a real degenerate game. And I also kind of popped off when I was doing the tutorial for Launcher and went, this is just War Machine, Marvel vs. Capcom 1. Like, this is just magic techno lights appear and a giant gun is here now.
Yeah, it has a real Noel Vermillion meets heavy arms energy to that character.
Yeah.
Real good stuff. Absolutely delightful.
I think the funniest thing was booting it up and realizing DNF Duel on the title screen says, who's next?
Yeah, it says DNF Duel, and below that it says who's next. And I'm like, yeah, I bet if you talk to 100 fighting game fans, they'll definitely be like, who's next? That's the catchphrase of DNF Duel. No other fighting game has had a huge marketing campaign ending every single trailer with who's next.
No, none.
Yeah, and it definitely didn't happen 6 years ago.
Burger King, I'm loving it.
I did like in the sequel to that fighting game, their new model for that one was "You're next."
Yes, that was pretty good. But yeah, DNF was really delightful. The audio balance on voice lines and stuff is real bad.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And it changes per region because it defaults to Korean, but you can change it to Japanese. And no, you can't change it to English because fuck you, I guess.
The funniest thing about that is on the like selection screen, they're in the native language. They're not even translated. Oh, this is the Japanese option.
Right. It doesn't have English letters for Japanese. It doesn't have English letters for Korean. You just have to look at these symbols and try to figure out, okay, that one's okay, and that's got it. Which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's very funny.
I've seen that a lot.
I would have really liked it if we got a local dub.
Yeah, that'd be very nice because there's not even that many voice lines. Come on.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I guess there's a story mode we didn't dig that much into.
I mean, I played a bit.
Whenever there's like, no, this has never come over. It's like a weird Korean thing. It's like publishers shit their pants and lose their mind. And it's like, no, we can't be the ones to do it. Arxis seems to be better about it because they did do Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And then when they did Blaze Blue Persona fucking cross tag battle, they dubbed the Under Night In Birth cast.
Yes.
And none of them had English voices before.
Yeah, Guilty Gear or Arxis really just fucked it up with the finale of Blaze Blue.
Yeah, it's still unacceptable. The literal conclusion to that, the whole arc, not dubbed.
Right, which drives me insane and will continue to do forever. But that was their largest failing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least they got
really
sober
weird.
after that, unlike Namco Bandai.
I don't know what.
Progressively worse.
I almost wonder if it isn't some kind of shit Toei pulls on them. Like, no.
Yeah, you
can have Dragon Ball because that's established, but none of these other series are, so no.
I also gotta throw out some props and also warnings simultaneously. For people who don't know, DNF Duel is made by Aiding. Some people might be stupid and be like, Aiding, they made a Versus series for Capcom. You know, they made Tatsunoko versus Capcom and Marvel versus Capcom 3, and it's like, no, they made Bloody Roar and Castlevania Judgment. That's the balance level you should expect coming in of, this game's gonna do some neat shit that's broken and garbage and I hate it, but I love it.
Yes.
That's what I specifically want. I'm like, this is a degenerate fighting game. I press one button and it just seems cruel.
Yeah.
They also made like every bizarre, terrible, like the 6th gen version of the anime Arena Fighter.
Yeah, I think that they did the GameCube Naruto games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
they did Naruto Clash of Ninja. They did Battle Stadium Dawn.
Oh.
They did the Full Metal Alchemist one and the Zatch Bell one.
I thought those were beat 'em ups. I didn't even know those were fighting games.
But yeah, Aiding's delightful. Sure would be great if Castlevania Judgment got ported to anything that could run it ever.
That'd be neat.
Because the Wii can't run it at all. No. It looks terrible and it bums me out. I need to just play it on an emulator.
That definitely feels like it's in the area of like bad enough reception that Konami will never re-release it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
There's no other Castlevania game with as much of a you will never see this again as Castlevania Judgment.
Yeah,
we'll see Lords of Shadow come around again before we see Castlevania Judgment.
Yeah, that one had so many problems, and it doesn't even feel like it has a complete story. Because I feel like there's things you can do to learn a little bit about Super Mega Death, Time
Super
Death.
Omega Death Christ.
Yeah, and there isn't like any real story that concludes that.
I think there is. I think you have to beat it as every character, and then you get to do the real ending. But I've never gone through with it myself.
Yeah, I could have sworn I just tried everything, and there was nothing.
Also, for anyone who hasn't seen it, Time Reaper from that totally gets ripped off by Your Reason from Devil May Cry 5. Totally stole that. I can't believe them.
How could that?
And to call me on this, you're going to have to play Castlevania Judgment to the conclusion of the arcade mode. So really, is it worth it, chat? Is it worth it to check me on this? I don't think so, listener.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah. But yeah, DNF Duel, really cool. Hoping to play more.
Yeah.
I like that they did two things. When you try to go online, there's player match where you're the little chibi things.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's ranked match and it's menu.
Yeah, that's appreciated.
Wow. It's just a menu. It's a menu that queues you up. And when I started, they're like, what rank do you want to start at? And it's like, if you think you're an expert, we'll place you higher up in the rankings early. Or if you're like a novice, we can just drop you into bronze. Which I don't think I've seen that before.
What
take-
size condom do you think you need? Do you need the small one, the medium one, or the large one?
You know, I'll end up taking that over them forcing me to fight a computer for 5 matches so they can
Yeah, that's
calculate.
real dumb. On that note, though, by the way, this was actually a thing that happened to NASA, where like spacesuits, you needed like the thing that fit over your dick, so you can pee in the spacesuit, and they were labeled small, medium, large, and so many astronauts took the wrong one and endangered themselves because of this that they had to change it to like large, extra large, and super extra large.
Oh my god. This is terrible.
That's great. I'm glad we were able to unlock that.
Society.
Yeah.
God. But yeah, did you have anything you wanted to talk about with DNF Duel before we move on to Capcom Fighting Collection?
Not really.
Capcom Fighting Collection, in a single sentence, I think IGN phrased it best. There might be too much Darkstalker. I think that's the funniest complaint they made. I'm like, they're not wrong, but it's also very funny to say.
Right.
Because it's not called Darkstalkers and a few of their friends. It's called Capcom Fighting Collection.
Yeah, it really feels like they should have put in more games.
They should have.
Then it would have
balanced out.
Right. It wouldn't be like, why is this a Darkstalkers collection that has a couple other things?
Yeah, because I think they have, what is it, 5 different versions of Darkstalkers or something.
Yeah, something in that range.
And then, what was it? We have, what were the other ones? Red Earth,
Cyberbots, Puzzle, Gem Fighter, Super Gem Fighter.
Super Gem Fighter, and then Hyper Street Fighter 2?
Yeah.
Is this really all of them, though? Because
there's also Puzzle Fighter.
Strange.
And Puzzle Fighter isn't a fighting game, but we have it in here because there's nowhere else to put it.
that's okay. Street Fighter 2 isn't a fighting game either, right? Yeah, so we get a puzzle game and then a bunch of fighting games.
And Red Earth is weird. That's half of the reason I bought this collection. I really wanted to try that.
Yeah.
That thing is strange.
Red Earth feels like Capcom trying to find a middle ground between their D&D campaigns and their their D&D campaign arcade games and their fighting games. Mm-hmm. So you level up as you play that game. You get experience. You can put in a code when you go up to the arcade machine, a password, to get level 32. And leveling up unlocks more moves.
Right.
Now, this was the funniest thing to find out playing it, as we're just like, why are there so few moves? Oh, that's why. That's bizarre. But then see the next day a Maximilian Dude VOD goes up on YouTube where he's playing online and his enemy just rapidly taps in the password and he goes, what was that? Was that a cheat code? What are they doing? And he gets into the match and says level 32 and he goes, level 32!
But yeah, it's really interesting. There's only 4 playable characters in that game.
Yeah.
And then just every fight is not against any of those. It's all
It's a
against these
boss
crazy
monster.
bosses. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is neat.
It's really cool. I like the designs. I like so many of the ideas in it. I'm not sure I love playing it, but I think it's neat enough where it's fine.
Right. It definitely doesn't feel as smooth as like one of their other fighters because that's not the goal.
Yeah, the goal is I'm a big, cool lion man with a giant sword, so when I swing it, it should feel mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's really what's going on there. It was really cool because, once again, these aren't normal enemies. They're like giant tentacle monsters.
Yeah, this dude was the Nautilus shell with tentacles coming out forming a body. There's a harpy, which is really strange design where her hands are gigantic.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. There's so many cool things going on there. There's like the weird Egyptian manticore thing.
Yeah, every design is just a 10. It's crazy. And another great thing is it has a really full art gallery, so you can check out all the concept artwork in like finished artworks from these games, and it's very neat.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. That was, I think, getting to check that game out was the highlight of that collection for me.
Yeah, it's CPS 3, so we can't like play it on the Mister or anything.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Possibly ever.
Yeah, hopefully. God, I hope they can get CPS 3 because if we get that in Street Fighter Third Strike, then it's like, wow,
we're done.
Yeah.
It's over.
I never need a more powerful FPGA. I would like one though because I would like the PSP to ever work on a Mister.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. I don't need anything past the PS1.
Once again, I would pay $700 for a FPGA PS2.
I mean, I would too. I'd do it in a heartbeat, and then it wouldn't work on day one, and I'd be like, but eventually.
One day.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, there is more value in an FPGA powerful enough to do 6th-gen consoles than in several different things on the market right now, right?
Okay.
Like, there's more value in that than there is in the Xbox Series X.
Yeah, because that's like the main thing about that is it can play your Xbox games. Well.
Right. It could play Xbox original games. It could play PS2 games. It could maybe even get GameCube. But it would be such a huge FPGA. So very powerful that it's like, that's so far off.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah.
We were talking about how it'd be cool if we saw Capcom do a 3D fighter collection, because it feels like Rival Schools and Star Gladiator and Power Stone are all just sitting out there like really cool.
Yeah.
No way to play.
Yeah, it'd be really great if they did that.
Yeah,
I don't
they could put Street Fighter EX on there.
Yeah.
I mean, they should do that. They should re-release those. I think Street Fighter EX is rather amazing for what it is and when it happened. Because I think EX3 is a fairly enjoyable game. I think that was impressive when it came out. And, you know, once you get good upscalers in the year like 2018 and you go back and play it, you realize they just put pictures of Mr. T in this environment. And they assumed you would never be able to see them because it was blurry enough on CRTs that you wouldn't.
Right.
It's just like, that's fucking Mr. T in the background. What the fuck? But yeah, that game's cool. It's got, you know, Skull Guy. That's not his name.
Yes.
Skullman.
Skullomania.
Skullomania, yes. Skullomancer. But yeah, and Doctrine Dark. Very cool characters in Street Fighter EX3.
At least,
very cool.
At least you can still play those in a newer game.
Yeah. Fighting
oh, you
EX
mean Fexel?
Yeah.
Yeah, fighting EX Layer. Fexel.
Yeah, that thing with the Gogi system.
Yeah, fucking Gogi system. I spent 4 years thinking in my head, Fexel. 4 years. And it was only earlier this year that someone said it out loud, and I went, good, now's the time.
Everyone
I
has
spent
to
4
deal with
years,
it.
and now everyone must deal with both of us thinking this. But yeah. Yeah, the fighting EX layer is really cute.
I wish
but
that
the
they
Gogi system frustrates me.
I wish they just have a mode in there to be like, turn off the Goki system. It's just I want to play like without that.
Yeah.
I do not want to play your Mario Party thing that is inside the fighting game.
But yeah. Did you want to talk about Darkstalkers?
I mean, there's not that much to say. I think that there's a lot of different versions, so it's unclear which I should play.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just up to playing more of them and figure out what I like. I did try play online, and it has this thing where you can just set up to let them choose any game, match me with anyone else who's playing
On any of the games
on
in the
any
collection.
of the games in the collection.
Yeah.
It kept matching with the guy playing Darkstalkers 1. It's like, this doesn't even have any of the characters I play this game for.
Yeah, it doesn't have QB.
Yeah, there's no QB, there's no
Lilith
Hasanko,
doesn't have a
no
Senko.
no Lilith.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
I
bad.
mean,
I guess I'll just play Dimitri and we'll all get owned. Oh yeah, no BB Hood either or Jetted.
Yeah.
Because that game gets lots of cool characters in
What's
like
the point?
2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The characters you think of as cool as hell are added in 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan's there the whole time because it's a Capcom fighting game, so of course Morgan.
Morgan Sprite has to be somewhere.
I'm sure
Yeah,
Morgan
where is-
somehow is in a Street Fighter EX game. She too is in the background, but too blurry on CRTs.
Probably.
Good.
Yeah, seeing her face in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh no,
Seeing
no. It was so
Seeing
bad.
anyone's face in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was really sad.
Oh yeah, that was something that was really good. The intros for the last 2 games, the 4 and 5 Darkstalker, are great because the first one is like one of the dudes who looks like he's from JoJo's, like dragging Morgan on the ground, holding her head off.
Isn't his name literally Donovan?
Yeah, Donovan.
Which is the name of a JoJo's character, but not the one that he is ripping off, because he's ripping off, I believe, Avdol.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
I think he's Avdol in someone else, like just direct.
Just mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next one, it looks like it's the exact same intro, but then it zooms in, it's Lilith that's being carried by BB Hood, and the face she makes is incredible.
Yeah, she makes a sicko face. It's really good because it's just BB Hood. For people who don't know, it looks like a Little Red Riding Hood stereotype. So for her to be holding Lilith by the head or whatever, like she's gonna crush it with her hands, and then it just cuts to her face looking normal, and then she just goes, eh. It's really good. That joke intro is incredible. Anyway.
Yeah, it just made me think of if they ever did joke intros like that for Street Fighter, like
That'd be good.
because there's so many hardcore serious Street Fighter intros. It'd be great to just see a completely goofy one.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the cool things about Pocket Fighter, right?
Yeah, Pocket Fighter is amazing. I wish we could get more like that. There's just so much creativity going into every character's moveset because every single attack is them changing to a different costume.
Chun-Li becoming Jill Valentine and shooting a rocket launcher.
Yes.
It's like, oh, that's just okay. Cool. Aside from that, we played Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Bob, how did you...
You sure do play as Arthur and do so much chip damage I can't survive with all three characters at full health.
He needs to he needs to hyper
See,
jump
my
better. I don't know.
my favorite thing would be to pick Hulk and then do Hulk's Gamma Crush and then X Factor out of Gamma Crush into Gamma Crush and instantly delete one of their characters, and then they stop wanting to play with me.
Sounds like we should play online.
No, not on that game. You shouldn't.
No,
Fair.
that is true. Whenever I see Maximilian dude do a stream of MVC3, it is him going, all right, you're in our Discord, get on Parsec.
I think it's absurd that we don't have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on modern consoles.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah,
It's weird how 7th Gen got some things like that better.
yeah,
Where
no.
it's like, we had Soul Calibur as a port to that gen. We even got Soul Calibur 2, I believe, eventually. We got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 eventually. We got Crazy Taxi. We got all these other things. And then this gen, the gen that lasts forever, because it's forward compatible, they go, nah.
We don't want to write that deal.
We don't want to just port it once and then be able to get it on 2 or more generations of consoles. And it's like, God, you're so fucking stupid. God damn it. Because, a modern version of Crazy Taxi will not have the Offspring.
No.
But I will obviously buy it again. I don't have enough versions. Yeah.
I just need to pay an Offspring parody band. At this point, I feel like Offspring would become a parody band of Offspring.
Yes.
I know this was going to happen.
Yes, that is actually what happened. I can't feel anything but joy for Green Day not becoming a weird parody of Green Day and just changing their style entirely as they went. Meanwhile, Offspring really did just become hollow Offspring. It was possibly worse than the transition Red Hot Chili Peppers made to hollow Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because Dandy California is like we could just pretend that was the last song they ever made, and even that was like a lesser song than all the Californication stuff. Anyway, we're not here to talk about music. We're here to talk about how you shouldn't look at the faces in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and move on.
Yeah.
DNF Duel forces you to load.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
I'm like, guys, there's no way it's loading. Let me skip this.
No, you need to look at these two character portraits.
I'm playing the PS5 version. Let me skip this. Stare at these portraits. You literally couldn't make a game that takes this long to load and looks like this. Let me skip this fucking segment.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
Anyway, aside from that, Bob and I now have to talk about the elephant in the room. My God. Syphon Filter. It's...
Oh.
I know,
Okay,
it's quite remarkable.
You made a tweet that killed me. Because it is the most Dan GigaBoots tweet you've ever made, which is, we did all of it. It was bad. Don't do this. Anyway, we're still live.
Yeah, I was like, we got a platinum. We got a platinum in this game. It took all of 10 minutes after I beat the game. We're now going to check out the other Syphon Filters because we played Syphon Filter 1. We did it to completion.
Yeah.
Using the rewind feature and being god gamers like us. It still took over 10 hours because that game, its structure is not fun or great.
No.
Just to be clear what this game is, and it's so obvious. They looked at GoldenEye And they looked at Metal Gear Solid and they said, what if we fucked up both of these at once?
It's the quintessential. How do you think a bad shooter plays on PS1? It's that.
It is that. Yeah, it just controls like a dump truck. The aiming feels bad. The structure is insane because the first level took the longest of any level in the game. The first level took us an hour and a half.
The first level actually have objectives that you complete, like in GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And they give up on that immediately.
Yeah, for the most part, they give up on that. But then way later, they pretend to be doing that, but it's like, you actually can't do any of these until you do this one objective and talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, cool. I'm really glad you hit him up a window.
It was so insane that they pretended they were GoldenEye for mission 1, and then you have like a list of goals that don't get completed till the end of the game from mission 1, because it's like, catch these 3 guys, and that's what the game is about, not what that mission's about.
What?
Also, yeah, I expected that story to be a lot more cogent, given how proud John Garvin was of it, and how he literally said that Bond movie was ripping him off, and I expected it to be more cogent. It was like, no, it's just DNA virus. That's it.
Yeah, they don't even. Now, saying it's a ripoff of Metal Gear is giving it too much credit.
It is.
Because they say it's a DNA virus that can target specific people. They don't even bother figuring out who is targeting.
Or why they made it, or any number of different things other than it could be bad.
Yeah. It's insane.
To be fair, they did imply like, oh, it could just target demographics of people. But that's it. That's all they ever talk about it. Here's the best part of this stream, okay? I'm not shitting you two. We're playing through a level. We beat these normal contemporary setting levels, like run down a street, run through a subway, go to a park, do all these things. And then we hit a level that's like, the bad guy retreated to his base that's a castle. And we go to the castle stage, and I'm like, these guys are monks. This castle looks nothing like the other areas in this game, and this is a jarring transition. This was an asset for a completely different game the Bubsy 3D people were making, and then got shoved in here. Later in chat, someone reveals, yeah, the game was completely rewritten by Jar Garvin when he came on, and it originally had a time travel plot with a mad scientist. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Literally, the beginning of development was we're going to have castles and crazy time travel.
Yeah.
Was this going to be a copy of Daikatana?
Yes, but Lo Wang wouldn't get to be in it, so...
There's so many baffling things in this game. One of your missions in that castle, kill all the scientists. Can you imagine booting up a GoldenEye mission to like kill the scientists? Like that seems insane, right?
Because normally the way you view things in a war type setting, okay, is you don't treat the scientists as though they're militants,
right?
You treat them as people sort of working for them, either willingly or unwillingly,
right? Maybe under duress.
You
need them to stop the virus they have made.
Right.
Instead,
what you do during this mission is you're told by your CEO to go murder every scientist in this entire facility and vaccinate people. And we started getting worried because it's written by John. Right. We're just like, we're vaccinating people. The plot twist is going to be that our CEO is evil because we're just murdering scientists.
Yeah, and and your main character, Logan's Run. What was it?
Gabe Logan. Gabe Logan's Run. Zeros on the move.
Doesn't think twice about any of these missions. When he finds out that the vaccine was in fact killing them, doesn't react at all.
He's told everyone you injected was murdered, and he's like, "Wait, I was betrayed." And that's like the closest. It's like, Gabe, you killed all these innocent people.
Gabe Filter.
So you're telling me that John Garvin has not improved writing since the 90s.
Well, we booted Syphon Filter 2, and it seemed a lot more like what you would expect from what it was trying to go for, because it opens on an exciting set piece and a cool Arctic environment and all these other things you would expect instead of you're on a city street and I don't know, there's shit everywhere. Go.
Will respawn enemies infinitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a mess. What a mess. How'd this get 9s?
Yeah, no, the Metacritic for this is 90. And I was like, this is insane. And people bring up, reviews from GameSpot, and then they go, Jeff Gerstmann reviewed this. And I'm like, oh, he has a stream where he played that recently. So I go over there and I watch that stream, and you can watch him even be like, man, this is kind of bad. It's like, yeah. Yeah, it was. It was kind of bad. Syphon Filter 1 might have the funniest run animation ever, where it looks so poorly put together that your legs look like an alien life form that's attached itself and gone crazy.
We couldn't go 10 minutes without someone new coming to the stream and be like, what's wrong with his legs?
Yeah, almost everyone's like, looks like he shit his pants. He's just running to the bathroom trying to not let the cheeks touch or something. And they're right. That is how it looks. It's the weird, stiffest running animation I've ever seen. They fixed that up in Syphon Filter 2.
Yeah.
They fixed up a few things. Syphon Filter 2 seems a lot more sober. Seems better put together. I would like to see a little bit more of that game, even just watching on YouTube. Syphon Filter 3 opens with the shittiest segment in a video game I played anytime recently.
Well, you don't want to start your game with a really hard sniping mission?
Yeah, the game immediately starts, and you have to snipe tons of agents that pop up at random places in a building across the street insanely fast with very little health, which if you crouch, you can be safe from the bullets. But there's no tutorialization, there's no nothing, and you sit here and you go, well, what? Why doesn't this have anything like that? It's like, well, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was too early for the concept of tutorials. It is a PS1 game that came out in 2001.
Yeah. For anyone else who thinks, oh, maybe Syphon Filter is a product of the times, that game's from '99.
Yeah, that game's after Metal Gear Solid 1, even in America, right?
Yeah, like by 6+ months.
We didn't even mention in in Syphon Filter 1, they blatantly just go, we also want to do the rooftop helicopter battle from Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yes!
So we literally go to a base that is Shadow Moses core, and then make our way to a rooftop, and then fight a helicopter. And I'm like, come on now. This is... And it's like, Metal Gear Solid is cool, because all of the boss fights are like puzzles. And it's like, what if they were puzzles made by a moron? And it's like, that's how Syphon Filter felt to me. I'm really curious about the PS2 game and the PSP games. Well, there are 2 PS2 games. I'm curious about those. I don't think they would make very good large streams. So at some point, we might get curious enough to just do a variety stream of these 4.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not playing through another entire Syphon Filter on stream.
No. Playing any of those without the rewind function,
yeah,
sounds like a nightmare, because everything in that game was like, we hardly checkpoint you, and we will kill you at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times we died to something that we had absolutely no idea and just had to speculate, well, maybe someone somewhere threw a grenade long before we arrived.
Yeah, we do the rewind to find out why we died.
Yeah, that was consistent. That was consistently what's up. It was crazy. But yeah, Syphon Filter.
You know what else they made?
Huh. What else did the people who made Syphon Filter make, Bob?
Bubsy's 3D.
Which we're playing tomorrow. Because some sickos in chat demanded it. Originally, that was lying dormant in a demon pit, but they're like, no. I need you to beat Bubsy 3D.
I'm convinced it's going to be better.
I'm convinced it's going to be better, too. And that's pitiful.
Yeah, it'll probably be better.
That's insane. That's insane.
I'm sorry.
See, they didn't want to hear that. They're like, no, Dan, Bubsy 3D is dunked on by everyone. It cannot possibly be better than Syphon Filter. And I'm like, I don't know. I just played Syphon Filter.
Syphon Filter is one of those games I would rent in those days and return before the weekend was over.
Yeah, I tried Syphon Filter on a demo disc, and I'm like, okay, avoid.
Yeah.
Got it. Like, it doesn't feel good or fun like Metal Gear Solid or GoldenEye or any number of other games that were shootery and back then. I mean, I had more fun the time I rented, Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
That was like first person.
Like, how many years after GoldenEye is this? I think it's like 2 years.
Yeah, it's probably 1 or 2.
Yeah. Madness.
Anyway, so we're playing, you're listening to this live. Tomorrow we're playing all of Bubsy 3D. And that left the question of, wait, Dan, if that was lying dormant in one of the demon pits for the Death Tournament polling, which also starts tomorrow, by the way, you get to vote on which terrible month you want to see us do, or what great month. We replaced it with another
heroes
Bubsy
on
game.
both sides?
Sure. Debatable. We had to replace Bubsy 3D with Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back, or whatever it's called.
The PS4
The
one.
terrible reboot PS4 one that isn't even made by the company with any sort of pedigree.
Okay, but if that wins, you have to go into the options menu and turn Bubsy quips to maximum.
Of course.
Yup. I'm sure only the best individuals voice Bubsy.
And I think they literally called the highest setting on that Bubsy.
Yes, they did.
What could possibly go wrong?
He should say it like that every time in that version.
Yes.
Yeah, that's terrible. Also, I realized there is only one situation in which we play Syphon Filter on a stream again.
My God.
My God, Syphon Filter. It's in a demon pit. The PSP one is in a demon pit. Syphon Filter Dark Mirror.
Oh, man.
You know,
Wasn't that a pitch on one of our podcasts?
Yes, that was my pitch for Silent Hill, where I'm just like, it's about fighting the trolls.
yes.
And about how kids are on their phone too much.
So
Yeah, that was the one I missed. I need to go back and listen to it.
oh yeah, that one was good. That was good armchair test.
Yup.
Involved drones.
I've heard.
But yeah. Syphon Filter Dark Mirror is lying in one of those demon pits. Anyways, hey Bob.
Hey.
I assumed you played something other than Syphon Filter.
Yes, I played a few other things. Because
Okay.
the PlayStation did their summer sale.
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked
I know because I rushed to buy Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back, but then I realized it was free on my PlayStation Plus subscription.
Great.
I claimed it and just went, God, what a piece of trash to just get out of this premium subscription. But what did you do during this sale, Bob?
Well, the sale made me make the mistake of getting Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
yeah, that's
but-
also when I got Marvel's Got
Are we looping?
But I also picked up Origami, which is an indie game that's clearly inspired by Tenchu.
Okay.
It's got like a cell shaded look to it though, and your character can like teleport through shadows and do stealth kills. I was kind of hopeful for this because I'd seen gameplay and it didn't look that bad, but you don't have jumping. Like you can't jump.
What? Oh no, that's dead for you.
So you have the teleport for everything, and that usually doesn't work out that well. Like you can get in situations where it's like, okay, there's not a shadow right there, so I can't get up to this thing that's right next to me. So you're missing a lot of mobility options. You die in one hit, like Tenchu 4, and it just teleports you back to the beginning of the encounter. And yeah, it's really weird. Also, all the dialogue seems like it's trying to sound Japanese-ish, but through the filter of like banjo grunts.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
I don't know how you do. Sounds kind of Japanese, but banjo.
Yeah, it's like it's
Gahu gahu.
Also, none of the stealth kills look cool, which is that if you're making a Tenchu game, stealth kills need to look good.
Yeah, Bob Snickers. I look over and I see the dumpiest looking stealth kill animation I've seen in a game in a while, and I'm like, that's supposed to be funny though, right?
The from above one is the funniest because your dude locks in an animation where his sword's like held out, pointed downwards, and then flies towards the enemy who may or may not be that close to him and stabs him a little bit. And then they bleed and die.
Cool.
Yeah, also the audio balance for everything is just bad. Like for a stealth game, I think audio is super important because it tells you like where enemies are
Yeah.
and gives you an idea of their state. They're mostly just slight mumbles in the background, and that's how I'm supposed to know where these dudes are, because they're using their fake, not Japanese language to talk to each other. And it's like there's subtitles, but I can't really tell where they are because it's just super muffled audio. It's buried by this music, which is also very basic. So I was pretty disappointed in this. I only picked it up because it went down to like $4. I'm like, well, I'll finally try this.
Didn't they announce a sequel?
Sequel's already out.
Okay.
I was gonna try this, and if it was good, pick up the sequel too. But now,
what if the sequel's where it comes into its own?
Maybe, but the sequel reviewed way worse than the first one.
No.
Also, it looked like the whole sequel was focusing on doing the multiplayer thing, which this has multiplayer as an option. But it seems like every trailer I saw for the sequel it's all about there being 4 players at once. And it's like, Tenchu Z didn't take off, guys. Don't pretend it did.
No, it's really good. It's really good. You all regret your words and deeds.
But if that ever goes down to $4 or $5, I'll try it too.
Cool.
Because I'm desperate for something like Tenchu. There isn't anything like that. It's kind of an empty space, and I was hoping that this would fill that a little bit, but it really doesn't.
The name of the game, by the way, was Origami.
Yes, so A-R-A.
Like origami, but Origami.
Yes, Ara. The other thing I played was Little Noah, Scion of Paradise.
You know,
what's up?
If I didn't know what this game was, what I would have imagined based on that title is nothing like what this game is.
That makes sense.
So this is like Japanese developed.
It's Cygames published and developed.
2.5D game. Where your attacks are like folklore, where they're summons, right?
Yeah, you summon you summon creatures with each attack. It's structured kind of like a Metroidvania, but a roguelike. So it's going through different areas, and it's all about clearing monsters out. So it's a lot like if you've played Hades or something. Each room is made on the fly and just filled with enemies. Some rooms are like a puzzle room where you platform through it to get treasure. And every attack is, like Dan said, a different summon you do. You're constantly collecting these summons throughout the stage. You can equip them as part of a combo, which you just smash square button, it goes through all of them, and each of them has a completely different kind of move. Or you can set them as a skill, and that's a totally different move that's like a charged up thing that's on a cooldown. So you can make some pretty neat like sets with that. There's dudes in a combo that will do an uppercut, so then that'll put you in midair. And as long as you're attacking, you'll just stay in midair if you have more guys to summon after that. It's also got a really nice art style. Like, it looks very similar to Bravely Default 1, but higher res.
Yeah.
I really wish Bravely Default 2 looked like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because it evokes that style way more. Like, the 3D models actually look like higher res versions of that art. Unlike in Bravely Default 2, they all look weird and over textured, like they're trying to buy or get stuff off the Unity store to make it look nice.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't have that look at all. It really does look nice.
Yeah, that game actually looked stunningly premium.
Yeah.
Like, in a way that I haven't seen somebody try to make a 2.5D game look in a very long time.
Right. It's very clear they're saving money on level layouts being very samey. Like, there's a different background to them, and it's all about just, okay, I kill the enemies in this tiny box that's got several different shapes. But yeah, it still looks really nice. It's like a very clean look to it. It also, there are a bunch of different bosses. Like, every other stage is a boss fight. And they look similar, but they'll have completely different move sets. Like, there's a big axe dude, but sometimes it jumps on into a big hammer instead, and he has a completely different move set for that.
You know, I was going to make a comparison to God of War 2018, but then it was like, oh, he spawns in with a different weapon. Never mind. Because God of War 2018 really is. This one also has a pillar.
Yes, it's just a bunch of dudes with pillars.
Yeah.
This big guy is green.
Yep.
There's also a Japanese dub to it, but no English dub, unfortunately. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I'll probably continue to put some time into it, see how far I can get. Like every roguelike, there's a huge dependence on, okay, will I get a loan of $2 million? Will it just spawn me one of the good creatures to summon at level 1, and I'm just awesome?
Yeah, will this have the loop like Returnal where you just do hardcore drugs, hoping you come out the other end like fucking Captain America?
There doesn't seem to be a thing where you can take negative effects.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I know that it's stuff like Hades introduced that's later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to actually like clear a run before you're allowed to look at the list of debuffs you would like to put on yourself.
Yeah, so it might do something like that. But as far as I've played now, it has not done that.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I definitely suggest if you're into roguelites or like 2D action platformers. Like
yeah,
that.
also, I think the art style is good enough where, like, as Bob was saying, it does really look like Bravely Default, and it looks gorgeous. Like, this is one of the few games I've seen do a 2.5D gameplay where it does look this gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it's worth just looking at just to see that.
My only complaint is some of the summons get too big, and it becomes a thing of I can't tell what's going on under all the effects they're spewing.
Ooh.
So I need to... it's really hard to see where attacks are coming in from.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it seems really solid. You just kind of need to manage, okay, this guy's going to spark everywhere. I need to know what my guy's sparks look like compared to their sparks.
Stand back. I'm sparking out.
Yes. And I think that's everything else I got to play this week, other than, the stuff we already went over.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go over to KZ. KZ, what you been playing?
I've been watching a lot of stuff, but the only one I felt like mentioning was I saw Promare finally. I've been putting it off for a while, but I finally checked that out. And
Cultural
as I was yeah,
Well,
cultural reset, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I was about midway through it, and then I finally hit it, and my brain had the brain blast. I'm like, this is it. This is the exactly one straight scene that Bob told us about on Big Thing.
Yes, there's the one.
I immediately identified it and went, oh, this is straight as hell.
You can see it from space.
And then the rest of the movie happens, which, holy shit. Watching that on an OLED is very special.
Yeah, that movie's gorgeous.
Yeah, I still need to go back and do that, because we watched it in theater, but not since.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good time as I was like clawing through some of the other Trigger stuff that they've been putting out recently, like Gridman and Dynazenon. So I was finally getting over to this. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Aside from that, I played some of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, not too much because I was prioritizing other stuff, but I got to the brand new hub they made. So there's like an entirely like new area where you prep everything with new NPCs, and it seems evident that when they made the PC port for Rise, it feels like they dropped the Switch models in and we're done. Because every model here looks way too detailed and higher rent. Where I look at a character, I'm like, this beard looks really good. It's like this is the thing where they knew that they were making something for PC as well, so they actually went a little bit higher detail on a lot of models and the general look. But yeah, it's more Monster Hunter. There's not too much to say there. You now have this thing where if you do a button combination, you switch to a completely different preset of moves. Because before you could equip different move types, like this button's gonna do this with my weapon instead, and now you can basically make two loadouts that you can pop in and out of.
That's cool.
That's pretty nice. I've only seen one new locale yet, in terms of like things you can go fight monsters in, and that was okay. But I need to dig into it more, but it definitely seems like a good improvement.
How much was the DLC?
I think it's 40.
Okay. I've been wondering.
It's been a bit since I pre-ordered it on PC, and then your mileage may vary on how it runs. I have multiple people who are having a stellar time with it, and then my friend Jordan gets it to crash 5 times.
Any idea
off random stuff?
Any idea what sort of rig Jordan's running?
I don't know. It seems to be some type of homunculus that is causing him nothing but pain.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a PC.
I remember when I played the demo for this, I had to unplug one of the monitors because otherwise the whole game would run in slow motion.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's some weird stuff where most people gonna have a good time, but then you have a few people that are like, this is this isn't working out. Like the worst thing that happened is we did the rampage, which they added in Rise, where it's that horde mode stuff, and then it just crashed for Jordan on the victory cutscene before results, so he didn't get credit for anything.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm streaming. I'm not doing that 20-minute bit again. If you could just go ahead and get through that and check back in.
Yeah. See, this is Bob. This is making the argument even more for multi-monitor setups. Now that's a risk. 4K 120 hertz OLED TV. You're pretending is a monitor.
That's me.
My
My third monitor just becomes that OLED whenever I'm doing a PC game. Whenever I have to, unfortunately, settle and have to do that.
This is good shit.
Yeah, except for Neon White, which I can't get. I'd have to lower the resolution to get 120 on this TV, so I just do it on the monitor.
Yeah, they didn't get 4K 120 working on PC GPUs until 3000 series, unless you do quirky shit.
Yeah. At the very least, the monitors I bought last year that are like 144 are actually solid, because this is like 1440p as well, so that looks real clean. I'm not like pining to play it on the massive TV.
Neon White just needs 4K.
It would look really
so
clean.
Yes, it would.
It absolutely would. And the last thing I played the rest of AI the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. Not much to say besides that was really good. I feel like some mileage may vary on some of the last parts of it. Depends, when he starts doing that thing he does every single game he's ever made, it might make people's brains explode. But regardless, enjoyed it for the most part. There is one puzzle in that is incredibly terrible because of the localization. Where this was a lot easier because it is connecting kanji. It is no longer kanji in America, so it's way worse.
Did they accidentally make it a slur like Danganronpa 1?
No, it's just nonsensical, so I don't know how you can normally come up with this. It's like when you're answering a question where you're like, this seems wrong.
Oh, so it's a case closed episode. Hey, Professor Agasa, would you like to teach us something? Sure, kid. I'm going to say a bunch of shit, and I'm going to connect a fucking green pea with the concept of an airplane. And then you just go, okay, thank you. What's up, Professor Agasa?
I remember they got really bad in a couple of movies.
Yeah, the first run was so bad. I mean, it's never great. It never, ever, ever makes any fucking sense. They can't localize it for shit ever, not even once. At this point, they should be like, Professor Agasa is a man who loves doing stand-up at random to kids.
Yes. I was like, what's weird? Why does Professor Agasa just transition fully to speaking Japanese? And everything becomes subtitled for this segment.
I mean, that would help. Okay, kids, I'm going to test your knowledge of Japanese. And then it's just the original voice actor.
But yeah, overall, I really liked AI too. I think I might like it a little bit more than the first one, just because of I like the cast more. Sometimes just if you have characters I like more, it ends up edging it out a little bit, even if they're somewhat similar. Also, all the puzzles and Somnium stuff that you do, where you go into these people's dream worlds, are a lot more distinct and interesting with what they're doing. To where I'm like, okay, you're really like. Sometimes it felt a bit more nonsensical in the first game, and this one it feels a bit more controlled, and them being distinct got me excited about what I'm going to experience each time. Also, one is very similar to a piece of content that we've done recently, which made me lose my mind. Very, very excited for Field to go through this. But yeah, that's everything I've played this week.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Field, you play a video game?
Yeah, I play a video game. The first thing I did when I got back from my trip is I beat Neon White. Neon White's really great. The last chunk of levels gives you one of the coolest power-ups I've ever had in a game. and changes the rules a lot and just makes it really, really cool. Can't recommend that highly enough. Then I beat the game and unlocked all sorts of bonus content that'll probably make me cry, so I don't feel like doing it at the moment. It seems to all be stuff like, do this entire set of levels in one go.
Oh,
Oh no. I thought it was bad enough when I have friends now that are like, I will not continue until the current level has the developer times broken.
Yeah,
They're
I
just
didn't get a single. I didn't get a single fucking developer time, and some of those I'm like, how? Other than that, I played and beat the delicious last course, the Cuphead DLC. It's really neat. I wouldn't say it's that much different than the main game. It's mostly just more of it, but there's a couple things where they try new stuff. Like there's a set of bosses that you can't shoot, and all your shooting is turned off. But they have some way you can parry them, and that's how you hurt them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see that in like a review or something.
It's not colossal. I assume that they must be working on something else for how long this took for what it is. Because it feels like it took as long as the game did to develop, almost.
Yeah, it took a chunk of time.
Yeah, this got announced officially in 2018. But
yeah, so
it's been 5 years since the original released.
Yeah, so I would imagine that they're probably working on something else at the same time. Well, playing this, I did not see anything that's like this would make it take an exponentially longer amount of time than for what they made.
Didn't the original take like 8 years?
The original took an insane amount of time, but it wasn't that long.
Yeah, I think it got announced like almost as soon as the Xbox One came out, and it came out in 20.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would like to tell the story again of 2014. Microsoft shows that game off on stage because 2013 was when Sony showed off a bunch of indies, and they're like, "Look, we have cool indies too," and they literally sped green light that sort of showcase after Sony got that really big dub last time. So competition's good, everyone.
Yes.
I remember first seeing Cuphead through a sizzle reel of games at one of those shows, and they showed it for 4 seconds. It's like, hey, stop it! Can you show me more than 4 seconds of them fighting the onion?
No.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely worth the ridiculously low price they're charging for it.
$8 for that.
That's grotesque. Especially since some of the stuff looks really neat. Some stuff is stop motion.
Ooh, that's always fun because they did a little bit of that in the first game.
That stuff's always so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Jesus. And then after that, I played a little bit of Disgaea 6. I was like, I'm gonna make a lot of progress on Disgaea 6. And it's like, we opened the item world now. I'm like, oh. I guess I won't be progressing in the story for a little while. I don't know how I feel about the mechanics in this game yet. I think they overcomplicated a lot of shit. Specifically how you unlock new classes. In every previous Disgaea game, it was like, to unlock Magic Knight, you have a warrior at like level 20 and like a mage at level 20 or something along those lines.
Yeah,
that's all of them.
Right.
In this, there's like class proficiency, and I don't entirely understand how that levels up. It seems to it's like a chart full of stars every character has. And I don't entirely understand how these stars get filled out. So that doesn't feel very good. I really dislike not understanding how this mechanic that I need to do to unlock new character classes works. I also am really afraid that we're going to get to the point where it's like the numbers mean nothing anymore. Because I just finished chapter 2. I did one item world run, and my character's gained 600 levels.
What?
I'm going into chapter 3 and all of my characters are over level 1000.
Wow.
And I guess, like, as soon as I finished the first mission, I knew it would be like this, but I'm like, guys, you can like granular down your leveling to not give anybody dopamine anymore. And I'm really afraid that's what they did. Because with the normal, like I've said this before when I played the demo, normal Disgaea game, you can beat that game, you can beat the main story with everybody at like level 80, even though it goes up to level, 9,999.
Mhm.
Yeah, I usually end around like 120 or something. I usually try to overextend because I don't want to grind every unit.
So yeah, so it's just, I'm really worried that they leaned a little bit too much into let's make this sort of like an idle game almost, and let you farm with via auto battle. But luckily, some things apparently the developers said like, no, we figured out we went too far in some places. So maybe when they make another one, they'll dial it back. I am really enjoying the story. Even if I only got a little bit more, it's really great how just every chapter is, you're in a different anime now. You're in some other anime because you got resurrected in a different anime.
Yeah, that's great. I'm still just waiting until they drop the price a little bit because $70, that's insane.
It was a real game, so I had to buy it.
Horrible detail because that, holy shit. Dude.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's still insane.
They were like, well, it's real now.
I get it. Having to, you feel buying it at that price. I get it. They're so stupid for doing that, though.
Yeah, they're really stupid. At least it comes with all of the DLC that they made for the other version, so you have that going for it.
Okay, all right. I can maybe in my head pretend it's a GOTY version.
So you can boot it. You can walk right over to the DLC guy, and they're like, you can unlock all of the stuff to which I don't think you can do until post game. I think it's probably too high level to unlock all the previous characters. You get some colors. Yeah, you get some colors. You get a squad of characters that are unique recolors of existing units based on HoloLive VTubers.
Do you get plein air? This is important.
That is important.
I imagine that's a post game thing.
Okay.
What about that one bitch that will never get a game?
No, she's DLC and all this shit now.
Always.
Because the thing is, KZ, whenever you beat a Disgaea game, you'll pass whatever fucking bill you need to pass in the Dark Congress to fight her, and then she's just like, I don't have a game, so I'm gonna kill you and take your game, and then you have to fight her.
Yes.
Yeah.
You must defend her not getting it.
Yup.
Watch, they're gonna with 7. It's just going to be her game. We're all gonna have to live with it.
Never ever.
I know.
Yeah, I know. It'd be really funny though.
But that's all I played. I didn't get any further in the story other than one level. So I got to experience Spike Spencer going, no, please, I don't want to go outside. Just keep giving me money so I can live in this hole again.
Perfect.
That is great.
That's some good casting.
That almost feels worth $70.
Man. But that's all you've played?
Yep.
Interesting.
I think that means something. That
Does
means something to me personally.
Oh.
That means we're going to the Podlords.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords.
Ooh. This is beautiful.
It is very scenic. Go back. I need one more step of this before I start doing that. Anyway, Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown, Dino Crisis on Infinite Earths, Red Blaze 27, Juice of Frost, Suzu Shiro, Emperor Zero, Shibuya Gato, Sing and dance with the Gigaboys during the AI 1+2 spoiler cast. Rado. 101 Shades of Wonderful remastered. WTF. Spider-Man. Mr. I hope I didn't lose my Podlord spot because of Patreon forgetting my debit info.
Yeah, they're telling me about that, they're like, I couldn't do it. I'm like, I am devastated, unironically.
Well, I didn't have Yuji Naka actually giving someone the Stalin treatment on my bingo card, but here we are.
Where's Jetcom?
DFW 3K. PLV, you decide to travel away from Missouri.
Seems safe.
Kristen. Figma Demifiend Nocturne and Raido Kuzunoha Devil Summoner Serotonin Edition.
Holy shit.
What
Coming
the
together.
Cat Gaming.
Oh, yo. Straight.
That's a YouTube channel, all right. What the Cat Gaming.
Yeah.
Kyle Bjork. BN12. Maybe the British aren't that bad. Maddie Mo. Mizki says, Dan, have you ever heard of Ice 9?
She has a lot to say for the next 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'll be sure to brace in for that. Blig de Blue. Schligd's Poo. Monster Hunter. Ryzen and Raiden? I just think they're neat.
Definitely won't spend hundreds on them.
Jordan!
Well, he changed it.
Yeah. I'm happy to not be looking at teeth every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decidedly
Thank
no
God.
teeth.
Yeah, I don't want to see that fucking Pac-Man design ever again.
Yeah, same. Cooper Tank. Free Guy, if you want this to be satire, make the Typhoon CEO worse than the CEO of Blizzard. Come on. Look, they weren't trying to be perfect satire. They just wanted a dipshit.
Yeah.
God of Patreon. Money, Pachaco Max.
Oh, man.
Why is he making the Yananika face?
Don't worry about it. you never have to worry about it.
Drive Typecam. Behold, Bellamy Benjamin Biscuits in his tiny grabbies.
I love every aspect of this.
Indigo Sykes. Can I get some long bannies in chat?
They're taking advantage of our new format. Good.
Player 1 had a bad day. No Bito. Rest in peace, King of Games. Rip. A raccoon that wishes it would stop raining.
Yeah, I thought he was based.
Shinji16 is celebrating recently getting married. Not even SCOTUS stupidity can dampen his spirits.
Let's fucking go, man.
Nice.
I
Let's
love the
go.
tie. I love that tie so much.
I was actually going to congratulate you last big thing, but I was like, well, they didn't put it in Podlords. I'm not sure they want me to bring it up, but yeah, congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
Yeah.
I was so happy for you. I was. Oh no, what happened? 1 week was all it took for it to wear off.
Man, that shit got overturned way too fast.
I know, Jesus.
Thanks, Aggro.
COVID got me like,
What?
I was like, why is it oh, that's ghost pepper flavored baby food.
Ugh.
Baby's first heart attack.
Good luck.
Yeah.
My God.
Please get better soon.
Gact no some? Can anyone even explain?
I assume this is a Monster Hunter creature.
That's what it looks like, but
okay.
at what level
Yeah.
was this?
Yeah, this monster is called the Acnosom.
Okay.
So they put Gact on and said it was Gacnosam, because I don't know, they got really baked and then laughed at it and then said that's a Podlord.
Yeah, that's
Me
probably
pointing
right.
at the screen when two words are vaguely similar to one another.
The Super Mim. Lane's World 25. You're a stupid villain with no talent and you're ugly. You mad, you mad. You should low tier god yourself, lol. You know, we didn't talk about how bad Cyrus was during our
No, we didn't
game
talk
segment.
about that.
We
like
were
Pokemon
running.
Days- oh.
We were running long, so I kind of wasn't gonna bring it up. But yeah, Cyrus is hilariously shitty. He sucks.
Yeah.
yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah,
The ears.
he also sounds like this because he has no nose in this version.
His best Pokemon is a Crobat. What an L.
Yeah, actually.
I will create a universe where I can have nostrils.
Sarlene. Timothy Pfister is picking up Bamco US's slack and telling everyone to buy Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series available July 8th.
I agree
Yeah,
with them.
the seeming logic of why they've done what they've done is like it'll push it higher up the digital store pages if everyone has to buy it at launch and can't digitally pre-order it.
Also, I just don't like how they've barely marketed this thing. And but said, it's the last chance for the franchise, by the way, it's a test.
Yep.
That's how it always goes.
Yep.
Yep.
At least when Capcom does this shit, at least they push it.
Yes.
It's at this point that I reveal after after Bubsy 3D the next day for even more polling for the Death Months. We're checking this out. So what an upgrade Bubsy 3D to that, right?
I know. It might give people heart attacks.
Yeah, brace yourselves. Take a bear. I hear those stop heart attacks. Definitely how that works. I'm so excited for Peak Mega Man to return. It says H2O2. That's the sequel to Water.
Lan is the smartest video game character in media.
Yes, he is.
Jesus Christ. Don't disappoint. Okay. Don't disappoint.
Is this like a bouncy transition?
The baby. Don't disappoint the baby. Don't disappoint the baby. Don't disappoint the baby.
Did you set this for 20 seconds? What was the plan?
Whoever came up with this transition really doesn't understand how balls work.
Don't disappoint the baby. Pleochrome and Purple Spum.
Oh, look at the little dude.
Yo!
Thank you,
Look at him.
Cosmo. Thank you very much to our pod lords.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Thank you, Pod Lord.
Thank you, Pod Lord!
I am Mr. Gay.
And if you'd like to become a Pod Lord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach, our Bleach review podcast, wherein we review all of Bleach. As well as extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when the format of those shows forces to leave ideas on the cutting room floor, and a patron exclusive show one a month where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us immensely by telling your friends or linking the stream to people. Oh, feel free to do that. And if you don't have any friends, have you considered becoming a pay pig?
Oh!
Patreon.com/gbpodcast.
News.
News.
Oh
Yeah.
God, what bullet are we starting with?
Yeah, that's a fucking question, all right.
There is a lot of news.
Luckily, I knocked out. Yeah, there we go. She-Hulk, Biomutant. God of War Ragnarok comes out November 9th. Calm down, you psychopath.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah,
Yes,
busting through.
stop sending that poor woman your penis.
Yeah. In fact, don't send any woman your penis, whether a picture
Unless she
or
asks for
physically. I don't
I
think
will
they
say-
understand that concept, Mr. Field.
They don't. They
We just need a
absolutely
baseline
don't.
rule here.
Yeah. I'm very happy we got this date confirmed because as soon as everything Xbox got delayed to next year, every games media person said, well, God of War is going to be delayed.
Yeah, I don't know what
It's not
happened
making-
where.
I mean,
That's so weird.
It could still theoretically be delayed, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be delayed.
Yeah, there's so many delays this year. I get it. I get just being pessimistic about it.
Consider it. Well, I mean, this already got delayed by a full year. It was originally supposed to be 2021. But considering how much shit has blatantly gotten out of the way,
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to be delayed.
Yeah.
And speaking of shit that blatantly got delayed in response to this, Forspoken got delayed to January 24th.
Yeah, they
2023.
basically said that this is
They
why.
said it. I have never. I went back and looked up many Square Enix delay messages. All of them are, we want to make this game the best it can be, so we need a little more time. This one is, we talked to our key partners, and strategically, we are now moving to this point.
I assume they were going. I assume the plan was to delay it to around then.
Mhm.
Then they found out about this and like, no, it cannot be within striking distance of that, will die.
Now,
Because that is a Sony exclusive, at least for console, PS5 only.
while this is completely logical and very smart, the tone of it, bereft of context, really does come off as someone eats shit and falls down a flight of stairs. And when someone coming from the lower stairs looks at them and looks confused, someone walks out of a door upstairs and they go, they pushed me. But yeah, no, this is smart. Absolutely. But best thing for them to do is to just be like, well, nothing's coming out in January. It'll be fine. Square Enix launches in January. Go great.
Dan, that's not true. The Dead Space remake comes out that month.
That's not real. It was Thanos snapped a month ago.
Are you sure this one might be the ultimate clash of titans?
I'm sad because now we don't get the sequel to Bullet Witch and the sequel to Gungrave in the same year.
That is rough.
They don't get to compete.
That is rough.
At the very least, they'll still be the same fiscal year.
Yeah, you can't stop
That's
that.
true. Let's see. What else do we got here? We got some quick things to go through. I believe this was touched on in a prior big thing, but another article coming out talking to a number of Unity employees who were like, yeah, we wanted to work on a game engine to make games with, and this shit's being used for military applications, and that makes us all go, huh? And now we have to think about the ethics of working on AI tech for Unity when it will be used by the U.S. military, multiple different divisions.
You know what's a great solution to this kind of issue, guys?
What's the great solution?
Unionize and tell them you're not going to let your work be used that way.
Yeah, it was really weird that Unity went publicly traded something like 3 years ago, and then this turnaround happened so fast. Very strange. It's almost like maximizing profit might do some weird things to your ethics. Anyways,
Man,
Ruin everything.
it sure is amazing how unionizing could fix so many companies.
but Bob, unions are for cucks. My employer told me that.
They sure do.
They showed me an educational video where a guy joins a union and his penis falls off.
That is basically the one that they showed me when I got hired at Target, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, their representatives over at Bloodstone showed me this scary video.
Man,
about how
they
everyone
couldn't
will kill me.
they couldn't afford that GameStop. We just got pamphlets about it.
Yeah, it's true. You guys were real low rent. The Lollipop Chainsaw remake was announced since the last big thing, and it's already come out. Yeah, the music licensing is going to have to change, so it may not have all the songs. We don't know yet. Neither James Gunn nor Suda are involved with this remake / port / I mean, it's a port. At the end of the day, this is obviously going to just be a port.
This is a remake.
I don't know.
They said they're redoing all the graphics and to make it more realistic.
Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Sort of like when they try to port up a game from Unreal Engine 3 to 4, and the lighting's all fucked up now, and the animations look weird.
At least that game's already hideous in a lot of ways, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm wondering
I have no
if
confidence.
this is going to be like the Monkey's Paw of like where they ruined it on every level presentation wise, but now it controls sort of like a real game.
Right? You have to wonder.
Maybe.
So I don't know, but yeah,
I do think
apparently.
it's funny that people just asked James Gunn. He's like, yeah, Suda 2 weeks ago gave me a call. That's the only reason I know this thing happened.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
not
like,
working on this shit.
neither of us are working on it. I think it's pretty understood that the two important songs you need to get are Lollipop, because come on, it's Lollipop Chainsaw, and Mickey. I think that's it.
I was
Yeah.
until I read this, I was trying to remember what song it was because it's the song that plays when you go invincible mode.
Yep.
And can one shot everything. I was like, it's not the Avril Lavigne song, right? It's not Hey Hey You, but it has like that energy. And I'm like, oh, it's
yeah.
Mickey.
Yes.
God.
Yeah, absolutely. Very quickly, the Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition, where it rises from its ashes, is coming out in the United States and Europe September 6th and 7th in Japan. It's $40, which I feel like is too much for this game.
What?
But I'm going to jump on that sword anyways, because if I don't, Tosh will be very mad.
I don't. I thought they would come back and go free to play or something.
Yeah, I was like, they can't go to free to play because in order to do that, they would have to monetize it in a way I'm not sure they want to after how things went last time.
Yeah.
I didn't expect 40.
No.
I expected like 30 or 20. So anyway, we're going to check out that game again. Yeah, just see. Maybe this time it clicks with me. Maybe this time
they've redesigned enough things and you can make progress yourself.
There's no way. God, this thing is the anti-Ayn Rand thing. Is there an unobjectivism? Where it's like, no, you need the help of this community in order to slowly push against these kaijus and other things. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll click this time for me. There better be a bespoke PS5 version that runs at a lock 60 or something.
Yeah,
that lighting in that game's incredible. It still looks beyond most video games, but I would like it to run well on my PlayStation 5 computer entertainment system. Moving on to my last bullet of news. UK has a competitive competition watchdog group that is now investigating Microsoft's $69 billion Activision takeover. No shit. The amount of times we were like, America might let this happen. Let's see if Europe does.
Yeah, that has been the thing where Europe cares.
Interesting that it's the UK and not the EU. I always expect the EU to be the one coming in busting ankles.
The EU is a little bit preoccupied with certain things at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In a statement, the UK's Competition and Market Authority said its investigation would, quote, consider whether the deal could harm competition and lead to worse outcomes for consumers, for example, through higher prices, lower quality, and reduced choice. They set a deadline of September 1st for their initial decision on this. So that'll be interesting. Because we haven't seen a whole lot of progress on the acquisition front on that at all since it was announced.
Yeah, it's funny how a lot of game journalists have just decided, that's happening. Absolutely, there's nothing you could possibly stop it.
We even had some kickback on that even in the States.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Yeah, the FTC like woke up and was like, no, we're gonna look at this. You can't just have one of the second largest buyout in human history and have us not look at it.
It's really funny because every time it's reported on it, it's like Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision in this $190 billion industry. And I'm like, you don't even have to look deeper than that.
No, it's like that's...
The headline makes it clear.
Yes.
You can be a fucking idiot and go, yeah, that's probably going to cause some sort of level of monopoly. But yeah, that's it. That's it for me. The sooner we get to talk about certain skulls and bones, the better. Let's go to Mr. Field.
Skull and Bones launches November 8th, the day before God of War.
Very smart. A good time.
Go.
They dropped a story trailer, which God, I didn't know. In no universe did I expect that. And they dropped a gameplay overview trailer, which this game really looks like. From that gameplay trailer, to me, it looks like maybe they truncated a lot of things a little bit to get this out of the door.
Yeah,
maybe there was some mechanics that got left on the cutting room floor.
It looked surprisingly similar to that thing we saw like 4 years ago.
Yes, I do remember. I remember that going, this will be great. And then it didn't come off for 4 years.
Yeah, the weird thing is they're like, and you can go to towns in order to do this. And then they show someone walking in a town, and I'm like, I'm getting Anthem vibes. I'm starting to freak out and stressing me out. Something about the way he's walking, the way the camera angle looks just makes me uncomfortable.
Yes.
I'm really assuming that this is just going to launch unforgivably broken.
I wonder if
Or
we'll
just
be
have- or
guaranteed
just
to
have no
love it at
content.
GameStop. Do you think GameStop will guarantee that we love Skull and Bones?
They probably will.
Sounds like a Friday.
They probably shouldn't, but
That sounds like a Friday stream.
it does, doesn't it?
It'll be really funny if they show that and guaranteed to love it. And God of War is there, but Skull and Bones mysteriously not.
Weird.
Yeah, being the day before God of War sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. That's terrible.
Why, man?
I have no idea.
Maybe they did it deliberately so the blow up when it doesn't work is smaller.
Man.
Because I feel like every one of Ubisoft's like perpetually online bullshit games has had some hideous launch problem. Like I remember people having to queue for an NPC back in the Division 1.
Yes.
Yes.
You made a virtual line.
And then let's not even talk about Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is a game that I think had somewhere in the vicinity of 35 frames of input lag.
Oh yeah. It felt
Yeah.
like I was in a vat of butter.
I can't believe it. It's real.
Yeah, I know. This actually coming out and looking like a game that they can release it all
Yeah.
is impressive.
It's going to be great. You're going to be piloting your boat, and then you're going to turn it, and you're going to go in a cave, and then in that cave, you're going to be in Dragon Age 4. It's going to be just like Anthem.
Mhm.
Do we have it in news how Beyond Good and Evil 2 showed up in some like
The fiscal thing where
fiscal
they're like, yeah, we're still funding development of that. That is active development. And I was like, what?
What?
Excuse me?
Like, come on, even I gave up and I'm the nice guy.
Skull and Bones is $70,
I will
by the way.
actually be stunned if that game if Beyond Good and Evil 2 ships, because that was the only time I can ever think of in my life when I turned on the giant bomb. We talk about E3 every night after the stuff. And like the McElroys and a bunch of people there, and they were all like, yeah, this seems like it's not real and never coming out. And game journalists never
say that, yeah.
Yeah, they never do that. No.
Yeah, that game, every time they've ever talked about that game or shown it off, it has been just dissonant enough from all the other parts where you go, you sure this is a game that you're working on?
It's a next gen game.
Thank you.
Then the guy left. Then he then somebody reported like, yeah, it's on the verge of cancellation.
Yeah.
So like, who knows? Skull and Bones will be like a good dry run. Like we need to see is it broken? Does it just have no content? Is it like what is the monkey's paw here? Because there's one somewhere.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because just so we can refer to it when it's out.
Mhm.
Dan, what do you think the Metacritic for Skull and Bones will end up being?
74.
All right, Bob.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a straight 70.
All right, Feel.
64.
I'm gonna go 60. I feel like this is just gonna come out. It's gonna be really, really, really.
Because
great.
yeah, I think it'll get reception roughly similar to Breakpoint, which had a really rough reception. I think its Metacritic is under 60. I think it's like 54 or something.
I'm looking now. The worst one is PC, 58.
I think this will get a buff from people liking the pirate aesthetic.
Yeah, absolutely.
True. People have been
but
saying.
reviewers might beat on it because they can directly compare it to Sea of Thieves, which seems to be much more of a video game.
You can name your ship now.
Yeah, I was like, Sea of Thieves is as much a video game as a random VR chat realm is.
And look, game devs, look at Sid Meier's Pirates. Just make that. Just make that again. You need to have the being able to go romance the governor's daughter. You need to have like the really flamboyant sword fighting. You need all that. You need it.
It is really weird because it's just like last time we saw it showed no like actual combat while boarding. And I always thought that was one of the more fun parts of Black Flag, of actually going on the other ship and fighting. Whereas this seems like it's very much just watch this cutscene. That's boarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if it doesn't have any of that at all? What if it's like all just like a cutscene? You dealt enough damage, now move into like the zone of boarding.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it looks.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I would really like Skull and Bones to have more deep mechanics than the Kingdom Hearts Pirates level.
It would be cool.
Like,
at least it looks like there's a lot of
art.
customization for your ship weapons,
Yeah.
so maybe we'll get it from
Okay.
that.
That's good.
What's next?
I can just go through my news.
Go ahead.
Painting and Stocking Season 2 is real. It's happening. It's
That's
been
funny.
12
Okay.
years.
Funny as shit.
12 years.
Yeah, it's part of that thing where they broke the evil core that was Gynax.
Yes.
It's part of
They
it.
broke, like,
the
the
13 vessels of Gynax.
So maybe we can get cool stuff now. I'm really excited for cool things.
It's weird that I didn't see them announce. God, Imaishi, is that his name? The director of it.
I think so, yeah.
Imaishi. I don't think that they actually said he was going to direct it. But of course, it's super early on announcement. I guess
they
this is-
gave-
have
like,
projects
no
on
info.
deck at the moment.
right. They're currently got to get Cyberpunk out in September, and then who knows what else.
And I'm sure they're working on something for Visions too.
Yeah, this feels like they kind of just like they signed the deal and they're like, we're gonna make a GIF and we're gonna put it at Anime Expo because that's apparently all they showed was just them flipping off the camera and saying we're making another season.
Yeah.
It was a little bit more involved in that, but not much.
Yeah.
Mm.
I guess this is where I have to say I never liked Penny and Stocking when I first came out. Every time I tried to go back and watch it, that starts with that first episode that's all about poop jokes constantly. So it's hard to get past that. But I will endeavor to try again
Yes.
now that this is coming.
It's going to open with poop jokes again.
Yeah, almost certainly. I'll probably just skip episode 1 for my rewatch.
Yeah.
You'll text Phil, hey, is there poop in this first episode?
I was kind of like, I watched the first series and I was like, yeah, this first episode's poop jokes, but the second seems all right, which means it's split even, and that's not enough motivation to keep going. And that's why I put it down too.
I really like Panty and Stocking, but I definitely remember it being like a split of like episodes I thought were a 10 and episodes I thought were a 6.
Yeah, there's a lot in that was like, your one joke is, it's got a cutesy art style, but they have sex. It's like, that's it. But then every episode does end with a real model of a monster they've made. They blow up with fireworks.
Yeah.
And that's always fun.
Yeah. No, that show was at times hilarious.
Yes.
But then there were poop jokes. So once again,
Yeah. I haven't seen this series. I will now that they're doing a second season, so I can see what it'll do to my brain, which can only be bad things.
So the Dio Field Chronicle, that RTS JRPG thing that looks kind of bad from the from what we've seen of it, launches September 22nd, a week before Valkyrie Elysium.
All right. Just ship it out, I guess.
Just push it out the door.
Sure.
Push it out the door. Gotta get it out. Gotta get all this shit out. Aren't they doing like where's this Tactics Ogre thing that's gonna eviscerate this out of existence being?
I don't know,
Like
TGS.
where's that gonna be?
it's stealth until after this comes out, probably.
Or launch it the same day to stab it in the throat.
Yeah, fucking this is Square.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Or there will be a real state of play or a real Nintendo Direct, and they'll shadow drop it and be like, "It's here now, go."
There you go. It's a remaster. And we're like, wait, this is the PS5 back compat. Oh, Square disappeared. Shit. But no, that's a real thing.
Sucker Punch put out a incredibly infuriating Microsoft-esque press release, which saying, we're not making Infamous or Sly, and nobody is making those games at this moment, which I'm now starting to think that there is some moronic dipshit somewhere in the gaming industry who is consulting at these companies and being like, you need to tell people things, you need to make them resentful of what you are making for no gain whatsoever to yourself.
Here's what I think, okay? This press release was Sucker Punch basically going, get mad. Get so mad it makes you mad.
Yes.
Because they know they're not working on it, and they want everyone else to let Sony know they would like someone to be working on it. That's my take, though.
I hope that's right. I hope... And if it even gets through fucking Jim Ryan's AT field, because he seems completely unreceptive at any kind of public pressure whatsoever. He seems to just be like one of the worst executives in video game history.
Oh man, I want to see something pierce that man's AT field so hard. Just lock him in a room with David Jaffe's live show. I had a stroke. Jaffe in the last week. Jaffe in the last week was just like, who's this new director on God of War? Should he be trusted? We're going to talk to someone on staff. And then you watch it and he's like, yeah, I worked for him too. He was a combat designer and lead artist. I'm like, why did you have that weird tone in your thumbnail? You've literally worked with this person and you're acting like a weird internet stranger.
Yeah, that director's been there forever.
Yeah, so I think it would be really good to lock Jim Ryan in a room with David Jaffe. I think that might turn out the best content on the internet. That would be fantastic. You'd be like, wow, Jim, you look great in real life. Not like when I puppet you with the MS Paint images to make you say words on my live streams. And if you think I made that up, you are sorely mistaken.
I knew this had to be real because that's too specific and dumb.
It's fucking weird. So yeah, of course I couldn't make that up.
Who is that Sony executive right before Jim Ryan?
Sean Layden?
Yeah, Sean Layden. Yeah. It's hilarious to see him and Jaffe just talk on Twitter like they're friends.
Yeah.
And then that's the relationship he has with Jim Ryan.
Yeah. He's like, I don't talk to Jim. I don't talk to Jim. I don't talk to Jim. And you're like, what was that third one? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, lock him in the room.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to Blizzard news. So Blizzard, not being a company that can be handed a W and not turn it into two L's.
Split.
So they've announced some stuff about Wrath of the Lich King Classic, which is coming soon. You know, the classic version of the most popular and well-regarded era of World of Warcraft. It seems like they might have listened to insane people too much. Insane people being the hardcore players that are still playing World of Warcraft.
Oh, damn it.
Because first they said we're not, because in World of Warcraft, there was a thing, they added a thing eventually called a quest tracker, which is like, to do this quest, you go to this area of the zone, and you looked at your map, and it would have like a radius and a number. That wasn't in the game at launch. You just had to fucking wander until you found whatever enemy you were supposed to be killing, or the NPC you were looking for.
God, I remember that. What a nightmare.
At first they said Wrath of the Lich King Classic wouldn't have the quest tracker. I believe it was introduced during Wrath of the Lich King. Later on, though. But they backpedaled and said, no, it's going to be there. And I think they said we're not going to have Dungeon Matcher. We're going to have like the weird version where you have to like put up a request on a board. Because they're really interested in like the community of the server, even though that can't exist now because we have social media and Discord. So it's just like, guys, all your other classic shit was like, okay, we have all the Q quality of life stuff from near the end of the expansion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just like, guys, come on, you're just fucking it up for some reason. Stop it. Be
No.
normal.
I talked to the Spider Kings. You know, the ones with the brain spiders. They told me we were messing things up.
Also do like every expansion classic up to Legion, because I didn't get to play Legion at launch, and then you ruined the game. Then you fucked up the game so bad that it makes me disgusted to even think. They like I've said before, they basically deleted the game. Like they did that thing where they completely changed how you progress through it, and you can no longer like go through each expansion and see what happens in order and experience like the advancement of the content. They're like, no, that's too hard. We have to now enable you to only do one at most. Which sucks. More bad news, or ambivalent news, as I would put it. The GTA Trilogy remake performed bad, so Rockstar has apparently shelved Red Dead Redemption and GTA 4 remasters so they can focus on GTA 6. And that says to me, those would have been just as bad. Like they weren't interested in doing good ones.
Yeah, so might as well just don't do it at all, I guess.
Here's
Focus
the
on
thing.
GTA 6.
Here's the problem, though. If that's the case, then why would their core development effort that would be making the next GTA be involved with those at all?
Right.
That would have been a free project outsourced entirely. So to me, I get the idea that they did this outsourced terrible GTA thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, we're gonna have our main team sort of work on the next thing, and then, oh, that was going terribly. Never mind. Okay, all you come over.
Well, Dan, it could be that thing that bad executives do where they go, we're simplifying. We're going back to our core business. So it could just be that executive sense of like, we're focusing on it by canceling all projects that aren't that, even if they're outsourced.
Yeah, it's really truly absurd. Just because like Red Dead 1 and GTA 4, especially GTA 4, really don't need that much of an update, and it probably would have done really well.
Yeah, they just need ports.
Yeah.
Like I'm always hesitant because Rockstar is not a Japanese company.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't have the language barrier protecting them from public response. Yeah. They saw everybody saying variants of "you dumb assholes, this would have been an easy 10." And you did this. So I can't, so there's no way it's like, well, they didn't pay for shit. Obviously they don't want anything good either.
Yeah.
It has to just be, we don't want to spend the time and resources to get those done at like at a decent level.
Yeah, this is one of the few times where it's like, this game that's a remaster bombed and the world was kind of a better place. Usually it's like, oh, this remaster bombed and they didn't make yet another collection, or they didn't get to make say Mega Man X9.
In fact, this is said hastened the release of the next game instead of canceling that,
which is completely bizarre.
Yeah, because I looked it up when this article came out. It's been like what, 9 years or something since GTA 5 came out.
Yeah, 2013.
Yeah.
We don't need remakes of the other two right now. You can play some of those on back down the road on Xbox.
I mean, yes, that's true.
I do wonder, like, does Rockstar think that like they're going to get the explosion of GTA Online again with 6?
I don't know.
I feel like that's not going to happen, especially because they've separated them now. So I don't know. I feel like if they're expecting GTA 6 to be the infinite money printing machine GTA 5 was, it probably won't be, because nothing can be.
Yeah, if that money printing machine just stays operating, though, I guess it doesn't have to be.
Yeah. Or if it's like a smaller machine instead of the non-existent money machine that Red Dead Online ended up being.
It'd be funny if they just cheat again and are like, you can get $40 of GTA bucks for the $20 version of GTA 6. We want to sell 70 million copies and have people get tricked into thinking that's legitimate again.
God, that's so insane. When is Disney going to figure that model out for their movies? Buy Captain America again. You get 10 Marvel bucks.
I do like Tommy Lee Jones.
It would have to be something like, buy this $10 movie and get 3 months of Disney Plus and
Right.
it stacks forever.
That's all I could think of just like, if you empty every retailer of all of our inventory, we win.
Interesting.
They announced a new Robocop game. It's called Robocop Rogue City. It launches next year. It looks like it's going to be a Eurojank game. Peter Weller is in it, so it'll probably be pretty cool.
That alone will make it worth buying.
Honestly,
Because I've heard decent things about the Terminator game these devs made, or it's like, no, that was surprisingly solid. And I'm like, well, I'll probably be able to shoot someone's dick off, so it's sitting at least 7.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I was like, this looks fascinating. This looks like something I'm interested in, like, just to know what's in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Peter Weller at the end doing the Robocop, and I was just like, oh my God, they didn't get an impersonator. This has so much more cred. Because it drives me insane every time it's like, play the Creed VR game. We have this bad fucking Stallone impersonator. And I'm like, look, if me making jokes about the weird overtones in Rocky 1 sounds better than your Rocky Balboa, that's a problem.
Was Stallone in Mortal Kombat?
I can't remember. I believe Stallone is playing Rambo in that, but Schwarzenegger is not playing the Terminator.
I know Schwarzenegger is not. He's too busy.
And that's what sold it for me, because they get the of him shooting the guns in slow-mo at the end of the round, and I'm like,
Schwarzenegger put out a statement that's like, yeah, I didn't do it because it's too violent.
yeah, that's stupid.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Well,
I know. He's insane.
He's like squeaky clean politician guy now, so I guess that makes sense. Although, didn't he do one of those in Expendables movies?
He did.
Yes.
But yeah, like if Mortal Kombat got them, you have no excuse not to give them, especially Peter Weller. What the hell does he have going on?
Con appearances.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm trying to think, like, have I ever seen him in anything else?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, so apparently he was Batman in one of those direct-to-video things.
Like an
That's
animated
cool.
one, or
He voiced
Yes, Batman: The Dark Knight Returns.
I need to see
Oh, it's the
that.
adaptation of the comic. Yeah,
I need to see
he's
that.
an old man Bruce Wayne.
He was in a Call of Duty? Infinite Warfare?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very exciting.
Okay, Yuji Naka's insane now.
yes.
Yep.
He's just totally crazy. He posted a picture. He posted a picture of the Knights, of like the Knights development photo, like the team, and he had Naoto Oshima blacked out, like you took a Sharpie, and I think it was a picture of like a phone picture of a photo, an actual photo. So he would have had to do that to the photo.
Yes.
That's what people are saying.
And at first, people were trying to give him rope inexplicably, as always.
As
They were trying to
always.
give him rope, like
Decades
maybe
of this.
Oshima doesn't want his picture online. I'm like, one, he appeared in that Balan shit for the entire internet, so that's crazy. Two, he's blocking and hiding every single reply that asks him why he did that.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then he made his tweet chain explaining why he did that.
Yeah, that
Which
is-
I don't know if you caught that.
I did not see that.
Oh, let me read. I'll just read it. How would you feel if you were suddenly removed from a game that you had worked hard on for over 2 years, and when you went to court, you found out they had been talking about me behind my back in court documents, and that was why I was removed from the game? Game creators create games with care for the people who play them. Don't you think the people and companies that cannot take care of games are no good? Instead of talking behind my back, don't you think you should tell them directly before removing them? What would you do if you were to be ill for a long time and unable to do anything because of it? And how would you feel if you were the director of an unfinished game and it was heavily criticized? He just wrote that shit like hours after the photo. So he had a breakdown and people triangulated and went, it's 4 a.m. in Japan right now. He's pissed.
And probably drunk.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, if one of my closest colleagues that I had collaborated on with constantly for 20 years did that, I'd probably have at least a moment of self-reflection.
Right?
You
20
think.
fucking years. Like, Jesus,
Closer
I
to
haven't
30.
even been working with Bob and Agro for 20 years.
Yeah, you're trying your best. He also had a moment today too, right, Phil?
Yeah, I
Like
think he like tried to post about because there was that whole thing where he's like he refused to let the Sonic Extreme team use the engine. And he was like, no, there was never a usable engine for that. This is all lies. To which, like, I can't say that's not true.
It would be a really bizarre thing to make up. I don't know why Sega of America would ever make that up. That makes no sense.
Yeah, there's also the Sega of America versus Sega of Japan thing where they've always been crazy in that regard. Where legitimately, like multiple times in Sega's history, it seemed like American side of the company, your strategies have made us too successful. We're now insecure and have to drive the car off a cliff.
Yep.
Yeah, it just seeing him quote someone who was posting about that and just saying, "I hate all these people who tell lies." I'm like, come on, all right? Just every tweet is just him lashing out and desperately trying to get people on his side, and it's not working.
Yeah.
There might have been something within the past that released in the past couple weeks that has the Japanese side of the company is insecure and must ruin thing.
Yeah, maybe Yuji Naka shouldn't be allowed to have a Twitter account. Maybe that's not safe for him.
He should.
Like he should. Idea.
He should, because I feel great after 2 fucking decades of knowing exactly who that man is. That everyone goes, "Look at this guy, he's insane," and I go, "No, Yuji fucking Naka, who could have told?"
So,
Where's Infune's Twitter account? I guess there wouldn't be a meltdown at this level, though.
You're right. I'm like, you take away his Twitter account, he won't be able to just spill this bucket on the fucking world stage.
Yes.
I can't think of a single moment this good from some hack developer that's like, I'm just gonna mark out someone on a photo. I'm so mad.
Yeah,
like I'm in 8th grade.
Like, what's the next step? He does that House of Cards main actor dude thing where he just records a video of him being in character as the father of Sonic the Hedgehog, being like, "You need me running Sonic. You can't love it without me." And it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm scared.
But no, this has been great. I've been emotionally just Joker dancing on stairs ever since the Balan ride finished.
You know, I hate that the chat was able to come up with the one other instance of someone in the public being insane after they got out of for something stupid, and it's Kevin Spacey making vague YouTube video threats.
I mean, that's literally what I just brought up.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that shit.
Yeah. So that was delightful.
And finally, GameStop is massively downsizing. Some reports that they laid off 20% of the company.
I missed this news.
Apparently, the NFT team was not touched at all.
They're insane.
The CFO is out, and apparently some other executives left. CEO Matt Furlong explained the changes in a memo to the employees and said the company has to make bold steps as it invests in the digital future. You're a retail store. This means eliminating excess costs and operating with an intense owner's mentality, he said. Everyone in the organization must become even more hands-on and embrace a heightened level of accountability for results. I will never go into a GameStop again unless there is a major like shakeup at that company, because they don't put their games out anymore. I can't see what they have. And 70% of the stores are now fucking Funko Pops and Think Geek shit.
Really?
Why should I go in there? Why should I ever go in there?
I want you to put this quote in because it drives me insane as a man who worked there.
Yeah.
I know exactly what this verbiage means. This means we will threaten to fire you and tell you you're a piece of trash if you don't hit 20% on every metric every week, every day. If
forever.
you aren't.
Oh my god.
That company needs to unionize more than maybe any other I can think of at the moment. You guys,
man,
it's fucked up over there.
Disgusting. Yeah, every time they're like, "Oh yeah, you need to have an owner's mentality," that just means they're about to say the most vile thing you can think of.
I always forgot that you were like one of their like slaves for so long, so you like know
Oh yeah,
the evil verbiage
Yeah, that's the exact conversation you have when you go up to like management positions.
Like this is just they're doomed. Like
Yeah.
unless somebody can get a hold of the wheel and be like, get rid of this Funko Pop shit, put our games out, maybe try to go into the retro market a little bit because that's real popular right now.
Yeah, it's so weird. They dipped their
You're
toes
doomed.
in,
Yeah, they
and
tried.
then they stopped, and it's like you were making money with that. What are you doing? They actually got angry at various stores around where I worked, where they just put the games out and started selling them because they sold well. And then instead of doing that, they're supposed to ship them off to the warehouse where they sit there and people can order from online. And it's like,
Yeah,
why?
I was so confused by that. Like,
Yeah.
I would love a normal store where it has new games and old games.
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's too much.
Okay. Yeah, that
Have 800. It's infinitely more likely. Like, are there people who go like Funko Pop hunting physically? That's what the internet is for.
There are. At least there were when I was working. Like, that was a decent amount of the space of, they'll be there on that Funko Pop day where there's 3 different Funkos and they will buy all of them. And there'll be like 5 different people that are in that.
Like, nobody can go into your store and browse ever again because you don't put out your games.
Yeah.
You hide them.
It's insane.
It's like if I go into a GameStop, first of all, sorry GameStop, I'm never going into you to buy a retail game ever. Like I'm like a new release. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, not
That isn't what you're for anymore. I'm going because I passed by it and maybe there's a used game that looks neat or a game I missed that looks neat. But now you don't put those out.
Mm-hmm.
So now there's nothing here for me, especially the one here where it's like 25% of the shelf space is games and the rest is Funko Pop and your bad Dragon Ball Z figures that are like knockoffs of the nicer Japanese ones and like a stuffed fucking plushie of Deku from My Hero Academia.
Hey, if you roll a 20, sometimes they have a Tails hat.
Hey!
Yeah, it's insane that the organization's so bad that the new releases and the pre-owned games are just kind of stuck together. You have to dig through the...
that was insane!
Yeah, I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
So frustrating.
Yeah. Let's move on.
That's
Bob.
all my news.
Yeah,
Let's move on to Bob news.
Sure, I got some good news here.
Thank God.
Crystal Dynamics updated their social media sites, like their Twitter account and stuff, with a 30th anniversary logo.
Hooray.
This logo includes Lara Croft,
Yay.
Raziel,
Yay.
and Gex.
Oh, no.
Yes!
Wait, what? What?
I would be willing to bet money that there is a Legacy of Kain and Gex project in development already.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just collections.
It's like the Embracer showed up and understood what this company owned.
God, I want to play Gex 3 on modern platforms.
I would love like a battle of Bikini Bottom tier remake of Gex 3.
I would say it deserves it, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be way cooler to see them just go straight into a new Gex that's trying to make fun of modern stuff.
Yeah.
I know that's probably asking too much, but I feel like that if you bring back Gex, you need to do that because the whole idea is that the jokes and the references need to be cutting edge. Or at least pretend to be cutting edge.
Get somebody new to voice
it's tail
Gex.
time. It's tail time. Oh, God, it's tail time. Clock set. Oh, Jesus.
There you go. Get Rick and Morty guy.
God.
See, I was gonna say just get Robin Atkin Downs to be Gex.
God.
I think that would be really good.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm going, God. That logo is so funny. I did not look at Bob's news, so I was not ready for Gex. Our 3 legends.
Yes. I love seeing people retweet this like, this is the first time someone's been paid to make official Gex art in 20 years or something.
It fucking rules.
It's clearly Gex 3. He's got his tuxedo on.
Yeah.
He's in his secret agent mode.
Yep.
Also, that's a more classic look to Lara Croft as well.
That is true.
Yeah, I bet
Hopefully she gets
they
to grow
also have
up.
something. I bet they also have something in development like related to those old games.
Yeah, it would be really cool if, they put out some back compat stuff as they roll into, we're rebooting it again.
Yeah.
In this reboot, she starts as the Tomb Raider.
That'd be neat.
That would be a nice change of pace.
I wish that the other one weren't so tainted.
They'll definitely have to do something else because God knows Embracer isn't going to be spending $100 million on a Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
All three were over $100 million.
That's insane. That didn't even make sense the first time. How'd they do it 2 more times?
I don't know.
They were convinced that if they pumped Sony money in, they would get Sony sales.
And it's really weird because, not to be mean, because you really can't be mean about this. You shouldn't be mean about this. Mm-hmm. They clearly put what seems to be more money than Sony did into Uncharted games, but it just looks worse.
Yeah, it looks worse, and they didn't get writers that were good.
Right.
Like that's like if you're going to put that much money in, you need a good writer, or at least someone who's writes something snappy like Uncharted.
I mean, a lot of the strength of Naughty Dog is how they were able to interweave the storytelling and what the gameplay segments were properly, outside of Uncharted 3, where they didn't even weave at all. And it's just like the DM starts narrating, he goes, "You wake up on a boat." Nathan Drake goes,
Talbot is there.
He used his spell to transport you.
I have not played Uncharted 3. How many times in that game does Drake pass out or get knocked out and wake up somewhere else?
A lot, but sometimes in an Uncharted, you could deal with that, right? You could be like, okay, sure. But like, in 3, it's so jarring that it's like, and now we're at the E3 segment. This didn't segue at all. It's like, man.
It sure was too much work put into this to throw away.
And I'm like, that's a real shame. I feel like in a lot of the other games it works out somewhat, but that felt like almost the Syphon Filter tier of, was this a different thing at one point? But yeah, it's a little
we also got a new trailer for Valkyrie Elysium.
Nice.
They put a release date on it. The game looks way better now. It does not look insultingly bad like that first trailer.
Honestly,
why does Square Enix keep doing this? I don't know why they keep showing these things when they're insanely rough. Just wait a couple months.
Right, and it seems like they're actually making progress with this, making it look acceptable. We also found out. Oh, what were you saying?
This looks surprisingly acceptable for like the budget I assume it has.
Right.
Yeah, even somebody who was like one of the most pissed about the last trailer and how bad it looks, and I'm like, this is Valkyrie profile. You're supposed to look fucking immaculate. That's your job,
right?
This one actually looks a lot better. I was surprised. I'm like, hey, that looks like something you should show at all.
Right. The last one really shouldn't have been shown.
Yeah. Some of these faces don't even make me upset.
Yeah, a lot of the faces look better than the Star Ocean 6 faces.
The last one really looked like this will be out in 18 months. Like it's so far out. And then this looks like, oh no, this looks like it's almost done. Why did you show me that first one? It must have been such an old build.
Yeah,
unless they're making progress insanely fast over there because they are using Unreal. But I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
We also found out from this that they're doing a deluxe edition that will come with the PSP port of Valkyrie Profile original called Lenneth.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And that looks like it'll be also sold separately because there's a separate store page and everything for it.
It better be.
And they said it would have additional things in it, like they were adding quality of life features. And people say that this is not as good as the PlayStation 1 version because the English version of that added quality of life things. But I have never been able to find a list of what they added.
Oh, I've seen the list. It is like legitimate stuff. Like, oh, you can't reorganize your inventory in the original release, and you can no longer do that in this.
That was the one I saw. And maybe they'll put that back in since they said they're already chopping it up a little bit.
The quality of life features that they've said are only the ones that are in the PSP emulator, because it sounds like this is just the PSP emulator thing.
Yeah, that would make sense given.
Yeah, so they said it'll have save states and it'll have a rewind, and those are the two things in that.
Okay, yeah, so it is likely to be that.
Yeah, it's almost certainly just that. I wouldn't expect anything more.
They better sell
yeah.
it separately. That's all I fucking care about.
Yeah.
I don't want to. If this game ends up being bad, which I'm totally open to it not being bad, but if it ends up being bad, I'm going to be pissed forever about the concept of, oh, good job. A lot of people could have been introduced to Valkyrie Profile, but you've attached it to the $60 game. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, Square Enix. Hey, Square Enix, you motherfuckers. You fucking cocksuckers.
Listen here, motherfuckers.
Star Ocean comes out 1 month after this. Where the fuck is Star Ocean 2 on PS?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know.
They
I
need-
completely forgot. Shit.
But yeah, if I didn't mention, this is September 29th. I wish that they would just release Valkyrie Profile early. Like, if they have they could still do the thing of getting free with Deluxe Edition, just pre-order Deluxe Edition, you get it early.
Yeah.
They
People have done that before.
Yeah, that's happened before, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to sync up both because like people aren't going to play the old one first.
Yeah, no, it's a gigantic JRPG.
Yeah, even if you did play the old one first, good luck. It's like 40 to 60 hours.
Oh yeah, one other thing that got changed for the Linus version, they switched from anime cutscenes to CG cutscenes. I think that's a downgrade, probably.
And especially, like, we don't know if they're going to supplant back in higher quality renders for the CG. So,
oh yeah. Because they also did that iPhone port.
That's true.
They would have to have had the higher quality stuff for that.
Yeah.
But who knows if they're going to port it back into this? It sounds like this is a PSP emulation job, not.
Yeah, but you can inject assets using that emulator. Sony's patents show that.
Okay.
At least.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
Yeah, I won't understand that we're offering a classic thing and they both launched at the same time because they did that with Doom Eternal and 64.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one on earth is going to be like,
I played
need
it
my
after.
playthrough. Yeah, but no one on earth is going first.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also found out about Bright Memory Infinite this week. It's coming out July 21st for, let me see here, PS5, Switch, and Series X.
What do you mean
Wait,
Switch?
I
Switch is
awesome.
awesome.
I thought
This is
an
not
Xbox game.
This is not even an exclusive or launch exclusive or anything. It's
so
just
the demo was exclusive. And that's it.
That's it.
That is the most pitiful exclusive yet. That looks worse than the medium.
Yes.
At least the medium's a game. It's a bad game, but it's a whole ass game for 6 months.
All right. Other things like how here we also got just today a date for Signalis. That's that thing I played that's for that demo roundup a few weeks ago. It's a PS1 inspired horror game where he plays like an android in space and who's crashed on his planet. It looked really neat.
Seemed like one of the cooler ones that you ended up playing. Like I saw some footage again of it recently and went, "Oh,
yeah, it looks really nice." It's October 27th. It's going to be on Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC.
Cool.
And that's it for my news.
Okay, we now go to KZ Excellent.
All right, I'm going to get rid of my downer one at the start. Kazuki Takahashi, creator of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh series, unfortunately passed away.
This is so fucked up.
He seemingly was on vacation and they found him floating with snorkeling gear. So it seems like just something.
Seems like he was
accident.
snorkeling and he got swept out or something.
Yeah. Which really unfortunate. It had me realize I've loved this series he has made since it started airing on TV in like 2001. It's been with me for most of my life. He's done a lot of really good work with it. And just felt like at least bringing it up because this one hit pretty hard for me.
Mm. Yeah, it's
like Jesus. Moving on from that, I'm gonna use my Halo bullet.
Okay.
I didn't include this in news. I think it was like a week and a half ago. But then when I digged in more, it just pissed me off. So I just felt like talking about a little bit here. Number one, in Halo Infinite, when it launched, all the cosmetics cost an exorbitant amount of money. And people were like, this is fucked up. So what they said is, we hear you. We're going to adjust these prices. And they lowered them. 2 months later, we've noticed they have started raising them back up.
Yeah. Like not for new things being added, but the old stuff just going back up.
Yeah, they're going back to those, slowly trying to go back to those regular prices. And people, people started noticing it, but it didn't make news because I checked and I'm like, it happened around this time. What happened this time? Juneteenth. So everyone's eyeballs went to their other mistake they did. So this didn't get as much traction. And the other part of this bullet is Halo Infinite is doing really bad, so a lot of people just flooded to the Master Chief Collection. And they said they're done working on it. So they're thinking about putting microtransactions in it.
Yep.
That way you can just buy all the stuff in there. And they do that thing of, we worked really hard. We have thousands of items here. So we're thinking about giving you an option to pay us money to get them, since we aren't doing seasons anymore where you gain season points to cash it in. And I started melting because even the Xbox content creators I follow say, you sold us a car with 3 wheels on it. And now you're trying to like,
Oh my
holy
God.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to set Xbox on fire or 343 every single second, but this is really bad. Like, there gets to be a point where I'm like, come on, guys. You're like the flagship like studio over there.
Legend.
Like, you're supposed to be their Mario studio, so I don't know how this keeps happening. But I just wanted to knock that out. Another bad piece of news. We got some Ubisoft Ghoul activities. Starting on September 1st, they're going to delist and decommission the servers for several games, mainly on PC. This was also going to make it so that single-player DLCs in, say, Assassin's Creed 3 or Far Cry 3, you can't get it. You can't even download the ones you bought. They're like decommissioning it entirely, so certain things you own are just gone.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
And people also kind of just got really upset because they're taking down the servers for Splinter Cell Blacklist, and that was the last one. We still don't have a new one since then. So it's like, it's just really, really important. They're like, we want to focus on our big newer titles. And I'm like, what? You have
like nothing.
I'm like, you're not using servers for this fucking Mario game, and shut up about Skull and Bones.
Yeah, it was weird because one of the developers, I believe it was Anno 2077, it's like, hey guys, we may be able to not fall victim to this thing that Ubisoft is doing to all of us. And I'm like, but you are but yeah. So it is insane, this fucking delisting. It's virtually delisting. The weird thing is, did you hear about the split on how it works for DLCs for things?
No.
So, you know, when they made the newer versions for PS4 and stuff of Far Cry things, those came with the DLCs packed into the base SKU.
Yeah.
So you don't need online authentication for those to work. So if you have that version of those games, you can play the DLC. If you bought it separately, it won't work.
This should be illegal.
It should,
Like,
yes!
this is ludicrous levels of, we just destroyed the game you bought.
Because at the end of the day, we all know this is because they forced some weird online DRM that didn't need to be there because these consoles already have these systems in place.
But they
You
want your
psychopaths.
data.
Yes.
That's it.
Christ.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just a lot of them they have to put it's the old release, but it's you don't need to do this. I am sure you are not losing that much money. Like holding this stuff together.
No. Unless you did things incorrectly, in which case you should have not been doing that for as long as you did.
Yeah, this seems crazy. All right, so I think that's all of my horrible news. So I can move on to other things. We got some interviews for FF7 stuff. I collected all the stuff that matters for the most part. First up, we have Crisis Core Reunion. They confirmed it's being rebuilt using UE4. On PC, they're going to be targeting 120 FPS. Console, it'll be 60 FPS. They didn't say a single thing about that Switch version. Except that resolutions will be different.
Why can't we have 120 FPS on PS5 and Series X? Huh?
Yeah, what the heck?
It's well, you need a Ryzen Threadripper in order to get 120 on PC.
I mean, I'm sure that's true if you want 4K.
Yeah, probably. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe they just don't want to do 2 modes, so they're like, this one's 4K and 60. They didn't want to do 1440p 120.
Yeah, they really
Yeah,
should have some
maybe.
sort of option like that to just be like, no, uncap it.
I mean, yeah, every game should try to support that.
yeah. I
But-
mean, if
but
you're already
six-
doing
but
the feature
60
set for
is-
the PC, come on.
60 is good enough for me. I'm not gonna bust anybody's balls for not having 120 FPS.
Yeah.
My TV can't do it, so it has to be good enough for me. So long as you keep, so long as it's locked, sure.
It better fucking be locked. This was a PSP game, even if they popped new models into it.
Yeah. So they're doing a lot of changes to the gameplay. Zax's combos will now be linkable now. Before you had limit breaks as cool special attacks. They were only usable randomly due to the game slot machine, the DMW.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'll still do that, but now you can just do them if you want, and you have whatever the resource is. And they said they made a lot of improvements to the camera. They of course have that shortcut system, so you can easily string together combos and then use like a fire materia pretty easily. And they're also fully voicing the game. There are a bunch of scenes like, you know, they had them where this isn't voiced at all. It's just the text thing you're going to read. They voiced all of that.
Yeah.
This means you can talk to the Genesis fan club and they'll be voiced.
That's really good. They confirmed really important codex entries, like what hair product Sephiroth uses will still be in here because
Yes, that's important.
Yeah, this is not going to be changing anything at all. They just wanted to. They said Zax's going to be important in the next remake game, so they wanted this to be retained there.
It's weird. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Phil.
I need to point out that Zach Fair's new voice actor, Caleb Pierce, is the live-action Timmy Turner from the newest Fairly Odd Parents thing.
Oh,
Yep.
Meaning he is. Let me post a picture of him.
No,
Is this
I
guy.
hate that photo. I hate it.
This is your new Zach.
That's how he sounds. It's rough. Ugh.
These things happen, okay?
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, it's weird how much work they're putting into this, and also it's kind of surprising that since it is like they said that they aren't changing anything, that they aren't also getting the old voice cast back. I think that's strange because the new voice cast is associated with the new timeline stuff, which it sounded like they wanted to keep those separate.
I guess they only wanted to keep it separate for a little bit and then decided, fuck it.
They're like most people, I guess, liked it, so we'll just stick with it for consistency. But of course, in Japan, Genesis is still gacked.
Yeah, of course.
That's important.
I did like the section where they asked him, so did you work out the licensing issues? And Nomura said, what are you fucking talking about? we just didn't have time. Like, Gact was not holding back us releasing this at all.
That makes sense.
We just couldn't figure out how to make the digital store work on the PSP because
we
we're just
couldn't
gigantic
figure out-
morons. We just we did our own brains rot out sometimes. Sometimes, you know, you just can't do
Dude,
anything.
I mean, Birth by Sleep never went up digitally
know,
either.
right?
There were
Never did.
multiple
It
fucking
didn't?
games where
What's
no.
wrong with them?
Yeah, on PSP it never went up.
Nope.
There were
on
multiple
PS
Square. I don't. Did Duodecim go up, but the original didn't?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. There were a lot of Square games on the PSP that just did not go up.
Also, all the,
They couldn't figure out how to gouge you.
Yeah, all the collections for Kingdom Hearts did not go out digitally on PS3 either, or let you do an install. And once it happens long enough, people will just make up something of like, no, they just don't want to pay Utada anymore. And I'm like, okay, guys, sure, man. Whatever.
Look, obviously, they would do everything in their power to like do this thing that, you know, you can look at many companies aren't like Capcom never fucking released digital versions of Powered Up or other things.
God, they were so dumb.
For some reason, people were really skeptical on the digital being the future thing, and it's like, yeah, both are the future. Like,
Yeah,
you can get continuous sales of things if you make it digital.
Speaking of the digital thing, because I didn't put this in the news, but I'll bring it up real quick. If you live in Germany or Austria, you will, if you and bought movies from Studio Canal on the PSN, you will no longer be able to access those in September.
Yeah.
It's very specific.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this was eventually going to happen. I think it happened to some Apple thing already under some circumstances. I don't know the specifics. I didn't bother looking it up, but too many of these happen, and it's sure going to roll back that consumer confidence in the digital market that they've spent a decade building.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in the sort of situation where if we get too many fuck ups like this, some legislation is going to dick kick some of these corporations on this stuff.
Yeah, it's obviously out of the EU somewhere because it's not coming out of the US.
I mean, even right to repair is coming a long way in the United States. So, like, honestly, I don't know anymore. Plus, like, there's the whole, like, there's the singular thing the Biden administration's doing of, hey, we figured we would dick kick a bunch of Silicon Valley companies. And it's like, oh, cool, you're doing a thing. Thanks.
What
you
about
know,
all
that's
those other things?
That's honestly why Activision's thing is getting any attention at all in the United States, because they announced that initiative right before that happened. So, you know. But who knows?
Yeah. We also got some interview info for FF7 Rebirth. They addressed the thing that had people confused when the first one launched, which was before launching part 1, they were debating whether they were going to do 2 or 3 parts for this. Nomura confirmed it was always going to be at most 3 of them. But Kitase was so impressed at how fast they were making the game, they were like, what if we could do that in 2? And then eventually 3 ended up winning out.
Yeah.
That seems insane because it's like, you think you're going to do everything after Midgar
in one game?
In one game.
Yeah.
We're going to do some stuff after Midgar.
Yep. Yeah, moving on. We got they made the game PS5 only because of SSDs. They want to do bigger, more. Yeah, they want to do larger, vaster areas. And
that's what I need to hear until every skeptic is like, I guess I was wrong about everything, and then sinks into the ocean.
Yeah. Yes, the video game equivalent of anti-vaxxers. Now, while the order of locations are going to be different based on plot for the remake project, they said they're cutting no areas. They said every single location from the original will be in. They're not cutting anything.
Cool.
Which is nice. It's nice to actually get that confirmation in there. And then there was other stuff, but all the other stuff barely matters at all.
I wonder if the order stuff is because they're like Wu Tai will no longer be optional. Like obviously your ass is going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what they mean, or because I'm trying to think like what could they? I guess they could move stuff around in that weird area where you have the tiny Bronco and are just wandering around looking for Sephiroth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know.
Much
I don't
more
know where
linear fashion. So
yeah, I don't know where they could like what could be swapping. I'm interested to see.
Yeah. Yeah, they can play around with that a little bit. But yeah, that wraps up the FF7 news. There wasn't much besides them saying big stuff the next time they show it, of course. So, looking like next year. This next one, this came out right after our last podcast. So, Bandai Namco has acquired Ilka, who made those Gen 4 remakes and did support on various other games, to form Bandai Namco Aces.
Yeah.
Which is they're developing One Piece Odyssey, that turn-based RPG, and the next Ace Combat, because there's some staff crossover over at Ilka. Takuya Iwasaki over there is president, and the VP is the Ace Combat brand director, Kazutoki Kono. So it looks like they're at least prepping for another Ace Combat game.
That makes sense.
It's nice to see a devotion to continuing Ace Combat now. Where's Ridge Racer?
That is a great question, Bob.
Yeah, because of course Ilka did a lot of the cutscene work in Ace Combat 7. Well, and my last piece of news, Type Moon's Witch on the Holy Night visual novel is getting a simultaneous worldwide launch this December 8th on Switch and PS4. I wasn't expecting them to ever do anything simultaneous. It's hard enough to get them to put anything out in the West that would be a visual novel.
Yeah, I remember when we first heard this was going to have an full English translation when the Japanese release was going to happen. I figured it was going to be machine translated, and they wouldn't bring it over.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe now it's machine translated and they bring it over.
Yeah, possibly. An opportunity for them to start porting some of their stuff over there, given how massive Type Moon stuff is, would be nice.
Yeah, maybe they can, I don't know, get some sort of aiding fighting game happening again.
Yes.
Please.
Well, they're just gonna put all their characters into the new Melty Blood forever.
DNF Duel featuring.
Saber eating tacos.
Finally.
Who's next? Neko Arc.
Finally. That's what everyone actually wants.
How is Neko Arc not in Melty Blood yet?
I don't know.
What's wrong with them?
I told my Melty heads that I'm friends with, I'm like, I'm sorry. They need to add Neko Arc. And they're like, oh, but these new characters are cool. I like Mario. I'm like, you need to understand, they're probably fine. But until Neko Arc's in there, it feels like they wasted a slot.
But yeah, they need to get her in everything.
Yeah. That's my news.
Okay, that's all the news. News has been banished.
Oh,
Be gone, quote from GameStop.
it was a lot.
It was. That was a lot of news this week, which was weird because last week was flatline.
I know, right?
Everybody's like, no, we're going to hold back a bit.
Everyone's like, we'll wait for next week. Everyone's going to post something this week. And then no one did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, as I said before, the voting on the Death Tournament begins tomorrow. It will start on Friday stream, during which we'll be playing Bubsy 3D. And for people who don't know what the Death Tournament is, people hit the stream goal a while ago. So we are doing 2 theme months. There will be 2 grand tournaments to decide what survives. People get to decide. We don't. Welcome to the 2022 GigaBoots Double Victor Grand Tournament.
Holy shit, is that Zion Barzon?
Yes. It is quite the showing of gaming's greatest.
Oh, is that
Yes.
Vampire Rain Man?
Yes, that is in a demon pit.
I feel like I've been shot.
There's much danger on the right side. Ignore the right side.
Please ignore the
look at
right side.
Look at the left side and Sonic. Look at Sonic. Hard at Sonic.
He's T-posing so hard right now. But yeah, we have quite the offerings for both sides. People will get to vote it all the way down to a final battle between good and evil. And then they'll have to do it again, and depending on what wins the first one, it gets replaced by something completely cracked out and matched to what wins the first round. It's like, okay, here's your spirit companion. For example, what was it we were talking about? It was
It's
Skyrim month, which is the game Skyrim. If that somehow wins, gets replaced by Dragon's Dog month. That is the only game we play during that either.
I love this key art that you have here because it has real big forum signature 2005 energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
We're doing the Game Facts tournament, but we have to play games based on what you vote for.
That right side is so evil.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Devil's Third Man.
He's powerful.
He looks like he wishes he hung out with Duke Nukem. Real bad.
I'm trying to imagine this lineup of characters on some like Twitter insane person's banner. I love DMC too.
I'm a big fan. Lucia deserved better.
This would be like the most delusional Xbox fan of all time, where it's like they're gonna bring back Duke Nukem. We're gonna get the Bouncer 2 once they buy Square Enix. We're gonna get Devil's Fourth.
I was gonna make the joke of this is like if Embracer Group just bought a bunch of people and made a studio banner like Microsoft does, but it's like they're already better than this track record.
This is Embracer Smash Bros.
Yes.
Holy shit! Only black suit Spider-Man.
Yeah, because it's Spider-Man 3 on PS3.
Oh, this is delicious.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm very excited. There are a lot of streams in those lists, so I hope people come by and vote, because voting will be fast. We're basically doing a different phase of voting every day, and we're announcing it via Discord, Twitter, and streams and stuff. So you got to stay in touch to stay on top of this.
Yep.
What's that Claire thing? Well, it's Resident Evil. The left side is sane months.
Yes.
You know, like Metal Gear Solid, Ninja Gaiden, Zelda, Sonic.
Pyramid Head.
You might say that, like I said, there's heroes on both sides.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll agree, because Zion Barsad is on the evil side.
It's interesting.
It's like the right side is dark, chat, and the left side is hero question mark.
It's true. Everybody's favorite heroes over here. But yeah, that's it. We're going to be busy doing that. So we'll be live a few times while polling happens. Help drive up some interest, get people focused on that, and check in occasionally with how the voting's going, because the way we set this up, we'll be able to check in on that. You know, we're going to do it the same way we did last year with the Google Forms, and us be able to check in the spreadsheet live. We'll update the tournament as it goes and post it onto Twitter and stuff to let people know. Day one's just going to be all the left side votes. So all 8 decisions you have to make for the 16 contenders this Friday. And then the evil, which they're both evil, right side will be the next day of voting. So we didn't want to throw all of it at you at once. 16 decisions, you would get decision fatigue. So I'm excited as hell. I'm very excited to see how this turns out.
It's very powerful.
But that's what we're up to in the next week. Really, it's going to take longer than that to do all the polling. But
yeah.
KZ, what are you up to?
My Friday stream for this week's going to be Cuphead. I'm going to be co-oping it with my friend Carl. If we hit that robot guy, the Dr. Wily dude who does the bullet hell, and he's alive and I'm not, we're doomed.
Wow, Cuphead's a really great game and not that difficult because it's so responsive. I certainly hope you aren't playing in some weird nightmare mode where you have a bunch of latency added by an online feature.
Don't worry, only one of us is going to be experiencing that, but that may be very important.
Yeah.
Maybe if they made actual servers and online co-op for this 2022 video game now, that would make this a little bit better.
Yeah, that's interesting that it still doesn't have like a net play version.
Yeah.
I guess they realized they just couldn't hit a standard that they would like.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's too
Maybe
bad.
They'll do it eventually.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go through it with a friend all the same. And aside from that, I finished AI 2, so I'm just gonna figure out some other stuff to play, chipping away at Monster Hunter and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's it for me.
Cool. Hey, Phil, what you got going on?
This weekend, I'm going to start streaming AI The Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative.
Cool.
I was delayed by my trip, but now I have to see the vision and see what parts I go, no. And,
it's great that I played it because I know every single one.
see what parts where I go, at, and see which parts where I go, you fucking hack.
Jesus.
And as I do that, I will probably have a stream goal up for me to play World's End Club, which is the 2D platformer visual novel that Uchikoshi and Kodaka worked on together. So it's like the Sinister Six, but there's only 2 of them.
Yes.
And it's Zero Escape and Danganronpa.
Jesus.
With art by the Pokemon artist.
Yeah, I was always
all
curious
the modern designs.
How insane that went.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what you got going on.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. This is when we say funny stuff, and then it goes do 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 do, and it plays the music. I'm pretty sure that's what happens at this point. Is that right?
That was right.
Yeah, I think that's how this ends.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just click over here and do this, and then do this, and Pretend we made a funny joke because we used to be able to just bullshit until we found a funny joke, and then editing we would sync this up with us going to a different screen and. Oh, Bob, you're so right.
Oh, Bob, you're so right.
Oh, Bob, you're so right.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. Podcasts like this are only possible because of your support over on patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get all sorts of content because we make so much of it. I hear we have a Bleach show. You might be able to get that early. I hear you might also get Armchair Devs or Gamer Premonitions extras. Go check that out.